Chapter 141, Who's Talking About Good and Evil in Slaughter City? Little San, remember, this is a world where strength commands respect. Only enough power and ferocity will let you survive on this continent. I took a risk and overrated Yu Xiaogang. He's only a theorist. He can't teach you the real way to survive. That's why you missed out on a lot. Spirit rings, 100,000-year spirit beast. Enter Slaughter City and learn real murderous aura and decisiveness. Once you go in, you can only rely on yourself. Either you force your way out with your own strength, or you die inside. A youth with water blue hair down to his feet and wearing a half black and gold mask walked through the inner city of Slaughter City, his father's warning echoing in his mind. Dad's right, I can't be soft. If I'd been tougher with Huo Wu, I might not have had to absorb her as a spirit ring. At least she wouldn't have left me. If I'd seen Gangxi's mistakes sooner, maybe Huo Wu and I would have gone to Taoyuan Academy together at 12. It wouldn't have ended like this. Tang San's fists clenched without him noticing. There was no medicine for regret in this world. He had lost what he had lost. All he could do now was take it one step at a time, kill anyone who stood in his way, and make himself strong enough to control his own destiny. He wanted to prove he wasn't his father's burden before Spirit Hall, and that he wasn't worse than the Taoyuan Academy students. When I get out of Slaughter City, my power will leap. The next time I meet students from Tianshui Academy or Taoyuan Academy, I won't be at a disadvantage. Give me a serving of blood chicken rice, no extra Bloody Mary. Tang San walked into a restaurant deep in the inner city. It was one of the few no-fighting zones in Slaughter City, and a place ordinary fallen ones couldn't enter. Only those who had won matches in the Hell Slaughter arena and exchanged Bloody Mary for slaughter coins could buy proper food here. One simple serving of blood chicken rice cost 5 slaughter coins, the price of 5 cups of Bloody Mary. 5 cups of Bloody Mary were already enough to meet a person's energy needs for a week. So even killers who'd won dozens of Hell Slaughter matches usually drank Bloody Mary directly, euphemistically called Yellow Spring Dew, instead of exchanging it for slaughter coins to buy food. Only a handful of killers ever treated themselves to a meal here. Most customers were couriers and slaughter knights. A conversation among several captains from the Slaughter Knight squad caught Tang San's ear. The 5 new killers who just came in are strange. I still don't know what they're trying to do. They don't drink Bloody Mary and hardly go to the Hell Slaughter arena. They roam between the inner and outer cities all day. Whenever they see fallen ones preying on the weak, they step in, defend the weak, and drain the life from the evildoers. Are they insane? Talking about good and evil in Slaughter City, trying to uphold justice? What kind of deluded saints are these? Maybe they are, but those weak ones in the outer city are indirectly protected, so they call her the Hell Savior. Hell Savior? I've heard the Asura King, the Hell Messenger, the 9 Nether Demoness, but Savior? That's a first. Don't the other killers object? This kind of thing undermines the basic survival rules of Slaughter City. There were objections. The inner city killers banded together and besieged them. Over 100 Spirit Emperor and Spirit Saint experts took part. When the enforcement team cleared the scene, they found all those 100+ experts had been turned into mummified corpses. Every bit of life in their bodies sucked dry. So we can only let them do it? Doesn't the Slaughter King care? The Slaughter King is furious. This is the first time anything like this has happened since Slaughter City existed. Nobody imagined it. Tang San's expression shifted. He'd heard rumors about the Hell Savior's deeds for a while. His first reaction was blunt. Who talks about good and evil in Slaughter City? If you don't like what's happening, kill it and move on. But then he remembered something his teacher had said. Not everyone who survives in Slaughter City is evil, but the proportion is tiny. Some are forced here by noble forces elsewhere, some are curious adventurers, and some are born and raised here. The environment cultivates viciousness. Eventually, the cruelty swallows them. They lose themselves, and Slaughter City discards them. If you can keep your humanity in a city of sin like this, your spirit grows stronger. That was what Su Ran had taught his 4 disciples when they first arrived in Slaughter City. After teaching them, Su Ran went into hiding and appeared rarely. The Hell Savior was Ye Lingling. Among the four disciples, her strength was the weakest at first, but she'd improved the fastest. Eldest sister Ning Rongrong had accompanied her on a tour of the outer city. Yi Lingling's progress had been terrifying. Hell Savior, spare me. I only wanted a few cups of Bloody Mary. I only wanted to restore a little vitality. You said you only wanted a little? Well, go explain it to my 9 Revolutions Black Lotus. In a dark alley, Ye Lingling, a girl in black, held an inky black lotus in her palm. In a minute, it sucked the evildoer before her into a mummified husk. Teacher was right. This place is perfect for your cultivation. How long have you been here, Ling Shaoqi? Your spirit power must have risen 2 or 3 levels. Your life-devouring speed is several times faster. It's terrifying. Teacher set us a 3-year deadline to fight our way out of Slaughter City. If you stay 3 years, when you leave, maybe you'll be like Teacher's 9 Revolutions Black Lotus. At that point, you could suck someone dry in seconds. Just thinking about it is chilling. Ning Rongrong clicked her tongue as she felt the aura coming off Ye Lingling. She'd watched Ye Lingling's rise firsthand. If she had to pick one of her sisters she least wanted to face among peers at the academy, it would be Ye Lingling. No contest. Ye Lingling's life-devouring ability ignored the Golden Bell cover defense. To be precise, it ignored almost every defense and devoured life directly. The victim could only use spirit power and their own life force to resist. If they weren't careful, or their spirit power was lower, their life would be gone in no time. Even if you could beat Ye Lingling, while trying to fend off her life-devouring technique, you could be aged 10 years in seconds. Girls cared most about their looks, especially since they hadn't yet earned the teacher's favor, and there were so many beautiful junior sisters at the academy. If you lost competitiveness and then grew several years older, it would be disastrous. Chapter 142, Meeting Again. Huo Wu challenges Tang San. Number 9531 has reached 10 consecutive victories in the Hell Slaughter Arena. Number 9532 has reached 10 consecutive victories in the Hell Slaughter Arena. The 4 beauties of the Peach Garden had split into 2 pairs. Zhu Zhuqing and Huo Wu were the first to enter the Hell Slaughter Arena. To avoid facing each other in the pit, they alternated their appearances. Otherwise, with their strength, their records could have doubled. What's the background of Naza 95531 and 9532? How can they use spirit abilities in Slaughter City? Isn't that against the rules? Someone in the crowd demanded. No, 9531's movement is so elusive, and those claws, she can unleash dozens, even hundreds of steel-shattering strikes in an instant. One blow split her opponent's head. It's terrifying and spectacular. Send out more like her. And no, 9532? Every attack she used was a spirit skill. She wielded 4 elements: wood, water, fire, and earth. Who can match her? The Hell Slaughter Arena, in the core of the inner city, was the most watched place in Slaughter City. Only by achieving 100 victories there could one hope to open the Hell Road. Passing the Hell Road was the only way out of Slaughter City, and a single failure meant death. Slaughter City is merciless. No wonder Teacher kept telling us to hold on to our original intentions, Huo Wu murmured. Coming down from the arena platform, Huo Wu's heart still trembled, but she steadied herself. In the Stardow Great Forest, battles between spirit beasts had been brutal as well. Zhu Zhuqing licked her lips and grinned. She'd already adapted to Slaughter City's way of survival and was almost excited. But we'll get stronger, won't we? She said. With every victory, we absorb part of the loser's spirit power. No wonder Teacher called this a great trial ground. That's right, Huo Wu agreed, but then her expression turned anxious. I don't know where Teacher went. I feel uneasy if I don't see him for even a day. Only Teacher's face can calm me in a place like this. Neither had expected that upon entering Slaughter City, Teacher would lay out a plan to force them to fight their way out through the Hell Road within 3 years and then leave them to it. Teacher must be watching us from the shadows, Zhu Zhuqing whispered. Given his character, he wouldn't truly abandon them. No, 9532, Huo Wu, you're Huo Wu, right? Tang San, who'd been watching from the spectator stands, stepped out and called to her. Huo Wu froze and felt a chill run through her. She turned and stared incredulously at the blue-haired young man. You, she stammered. Zhu Zhuqing noticed Xiao Wu's unease and narrowed her eyes at the sudden newcomer. Without anyone realizing, Zhu Zhuqing's fingertips had already lengthened into razor-sharp cat claws. Those claws could tear through metal and stone, their force second only to Ning Rongrong's mountain-shattering inch punch, while their razor-sharp tips were even more lethal. Her 9-yin white bone claw, a technique born of Hell's claws, had become stronger after soaking up Slaughter City's blood-evil aura. That confirmed her earlier thought. Slaughter City suited her cultivation. Anyone who could unsettle Xiao Wu was not someone to be taken lightly. You really are Xiao Wu, aren't you? I've been following your hell matches these past few days, Tang San said quickly. At first I was only curious. I didn't expect you to show up here. He continued. The power you display felt familiar. Only you could use that method of borrowing power to strike back. I saw something like it at the Soul Master tournament. Very few can use it as well as you. I'm so glad to see you again, Xiao Wu. I missed you, he said. I've changed. I'm not ordinary. I have 2 spirits now, and both are top tier. My mother, she was just like you. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. Tang San took off his mask, revealing a handsome face. Any ordinary girl might have been momentarily taken by it, but after seeing Teacher's peerless features, other men seemed pale by comparison. Zhu Zhuqing found the display pointless and said coldly, You think you're handsome, do you? Xiao Wu stepped back 2 paces and kept her distance. So it's you. Stay away from me. Tang San took a step forward earnestly. Xiao Wu, are you still angry with me? Back then, my father forced me. If I'd meant any harm, I wouldn't have untied you, would I? You still shot a hidden arrow at me, Xiao Wu retorted. But it doesn't matter. From now on, you do your road and I'll do mine. We'll leave each other alone. If you want a death match here in the Hell Slaughter arena, I'll accept. We need a conclusion between us. Her fighting spirit flamed in her eyes. If she didn't defeat him now, he might always assume she belonged with him. She was also uneasy. Teacher had warned Tang San was a powerful rising figure who shouldn't be underestimated. Could she beat him? You misunderstand, Tang San said, putting his mask back on. I didn't come to challenge you. I came to propose cooperation. He looked at her with something like hope, but Xiao Wu's guarded stance made him feel a pang of sadness. Then, abruptly, his expression hardened. Xiao Wu, face it, you weren't doing so well back at Taoyuan Academy, were you? Otherwise, why would Su Ran have banished all of you to Slaughter City? This place is a den of sin. Surviving here is damn hard. Leaving means hundreds of life-and-death battles and passing through the hell road. He doesn't care about your lives. How dare you? Xiao Wu snapped. So you dare insult my teacher? Tang San shot back. Are you trying to pick a fight? Zhu Zhuqing hissed. What banishment? We went to Slaughter City willingly for training. Apologize now, or fight me to the death. I won't allow anyone to slander my teacher. Xiao Wu roared. Tang San's words had struck a raw nerve. Spirit power crackled around both girls as their anger flared. In Slaughter City, there were no rules, only life and death. If Teacher hadn't repeatedly told them to hold on to their original intentions and humanity even here, they might already have attacked. Chapter 143. Actually, I really like Teacher Su. Has he come? Shun Trigram Gate, Everlasting Vine. 9 yin white bone claw, bone splitting. Having already seen Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing's power in the Hell Slaughter arena, Tang San instinctively activated Ghost Shadow Perplexing Track and retreated more than 10 meters the moment they struck. He narrowly avoided Xiao Wu's Everlasting Vine. The 8 gates of Marcus Wu's Mysterious Gate each have multiple attribute-based unique skills, techniques born from an understanding of natural formations and applied by calculation. They aren't spirit abilities held by spirit masters, so they work even in Slaughter City. Zhu Zhuqing's 9 yin white bone claw needed no further explanation. It was a unique technique that magnified every trait of her spirit cat. She could even use it without spirit power, though its lethality would be reduced. Xiao Wu, must you be so heartless? Spirit beasts are still spirit beasts, sentiment thrown away so easily. Tang San's voice was tight. That so-called hell savior everyone talks about in inner and outer city circles, he should be from your Taoyuan Academy, right? A little advice, if you still speak of good and evil in Slaughter City, you'll die very fast. Zhu Zhuqing's words were cold. Tang San's clear sky hammer appeared in his hand. He slammed it down, the blow humming as it dispelled the lingering bone claw energy that had latched onto him. But his heart was shaking hard. Since the Soul Master competition, their strength had risen greatly. Perhaps their spirit power had gone past 50, and with their unique skills, they were no weaker than him. Seeing Xiao Wu's eyes now hold no affection for him, Tang San felt his father's words sink in all the deeper. On this continent, only the strong can keep everything. Feelings are only a burden. Talking about good and evil won't kill you, but without strength, you certainly will, Tang San said quietly. And we're not talking about good and evil, we're just seeing that those who deserve to die, die first. Zhu Zhuqing's voice was like ice. Tang San, whether you meant to shoot Xiao Wu or not, you shot her leg yourself. As her senior sister, I must avenge that. Hell's artifact, ghost shuttle. Zhu Zhuqing didn't hesitate. A pitch-black, tightly budded object shaped like a spider lily formed on her fingertip and was launched with an odd, precise motion. Another hidden weapon. Purple demon eye, ghost shadow perplexing track. Tang San's eyes narrowed. The incoming hidden weapon slowed mid-flight, and he shifted his body, slipping past it. His hidden weapon mastery had taken a leap since 3 or 4 years ago. He wouldn't be beaten in that alone. But as Zhu Zhuqing's hand flicked, the ghost shuttle flower of the other shore left several after-images as it swept past him, and then it bloomed. Seed pods erupted from the bud and shot out at a speed ordinary people couldn't track. Before Tang San could fully register the noise behind him, something slammed into his thigh. Blood spurted, and acute pain exploded through his leg. He looked down to see a pebble-sized pit of flesh and some shattered bone. Disbelief and alarm flared through him. The blue-silver emperor right leg bone glowed, sealing the wound, and Tang San pushed his escape speed to the absolute limit, vanishing into the shadowed street. What kind of hidden weapon is that? He gasped inwardly. It actually carries some of the power of Guanyin's tear. Guanyin's tear was the most powerful single-target hidden weapon recorded in the mysterious heaven treasure record of the Tang sect. An instant, explosive strike Tang San himself couldn't use. Run! He had to get away. This was Slaughter City. Another hit, and he might lose the ability to protect himself from the evil hunters here. Clang! A gray wooden door creaked open, and Tang San stumbled in, collapsing onto the dark floor of a small room, his heart hammering. He had thought, with his current hidden weapon skill, he wouldn't lose to Taoyuan Academy. After all, he'd trained on the Tang sect's finest weapons. But Zhu Zhuqing had improved even more. If that ghost shuttle had hit his head instead of his thigh, the consequences were unthinkable. Su Ran, how much more have you taught them? Tang San cursed, slamming his fist into the floor. He had known of the ghost shuttle before, its weird trajectory and penetrative power, but it had been enhanced. He didn't know how deep Su Ran's arsenal of hidden weapons and unique skills really ran. Facing Taoyuan students now left him with an instinctive wariness. He ran fast, otherwise even your dirty old father's debts would have to be settled. Zhu Zhuqing snorted. The Tang clan father and son were simply too good at running away. Xiao Wu didn't look angry or worried that Zhuqing had hurt Tang San. Instead, she felt warm inside. Although the senior and junior sisters competed for Teacher Su's favor, they stood together against outsiders. Yes, Teacher Su upgraded it. He fused Hell Revolver bullets into the Ghost Shuttle. Its instantaneous burst speed is faster than the speed of sound. Faster than sound? In battle, you could be hit before you even hear it. Xiao Wu's face showed surprise. Theoretically, yes. Zhu Zhuqing nodded faintly. Teacher Su's incredible. He can even work on something like this. Xiao Wu's tone was full of admiration, though her expression quickly steadied. After all, when the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School fought the Spirit Hall's night team, the Hell Revolver's bullets had once shown comparable speed, only their trajectories had been less unpredictable. Taoyuan Academy's students truly live up to their reputation, Zhu Zhuqing said. In Slaughter City, this thing is probably enough to instantly kill a spirit Douluo. At that moment, a graceful woman stepped out from a corner of the Hell Slaughter arena, picking through the blown-apart remains of the Ghost Shuttle flower and marveling quietly at its delicate construction. Spirit Hall. Huliana, what are you doing here? Zhu Zhuqing frowned. Xiao Wu was surprised too. Teacher Su, had mentioned that the most notable student on the Spirit Hall team was Huliena. She led the martial soul fusion skill, demonic charm, and Supreme Pontiff Bibi Dong had even treated her as a holy maiden in training to be the next Supreme Pontiff. Why would she be in Slaughter City training? Juliana sighed, a trace of sadness in her voice as she explained. Alas, it's because your performance in the finals was too strong. To catch up and match Teacher Sue's students, I had no choice but to take risks. I didn't expect students from your Taoyuan Academy to also come to Slaughter City for training. The slight advantage I fought so hard for will vanish. Zhu Zhuqing's tone was cool. So, Xiao Wu said, softening when Hulina smiled pleasantly. Hulina's eyes shone. Don't worry, I am not like that ignorant Clear Sky Sect disciple, she said lightly. I believe Teacher Su would not let his disciples take such risks without confidence. If Teacher Su allowed you to come here, he must be sure you can pass the hell road. Flattery won't get you anywhere. Xiao Wu's expression relaxed. It's nothing much. I just wanted to ask, has Teacher Su come? Where is he? Juliana asked. Actually, I really like Teacher Su, she admitted, cheeks tinting faintly. I want to see him again. Besides, I don't have absolute confidence in passing the hell road alone. If I can cooperate with Teacher Su's disciples, my chances improve a lot. Juliana sounded eager and a little vulnerable. Who knew how much she had been thinking of Teacher Su since his brief appearance at the Soul Master Competition finals? Long nights of tossing and turning, her fox butterfly spirit stirring, thoughts swelling like tides, she had been restless. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing were momentarily speechless. It's not just you who wants to see him, they thought in unison. Chapter 144. That is our teacher. Yours is in the Supreme Pontiff's palace. Hey, didn't you say students from Taoyuan Academy are the most reasonable? Teacher Su is my idol too. Cooperate for a win-win. At the edge of Slaughter City's inner district, Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Ye Lingling were comparing notes on their cultivation over the past months. A pretty young woman from Spirit Hall had been shadowing Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing, which made Ye Lingling frown. Senior Sister Xiao Wu, Senior Sister Zhuqing, isn't that Hulina from Spirit Hall? She seems polite enough. Why do you all look so hostile toward her? Ling Xiaoqi, don't pay her any mind. She's here for our teacher, Xiao Wu said lightly. For our teacher? Ning Rongrong bristled. Her small fist, no larger than a sandbag, snapped into the girl's path like an iron shutter. Hurry up and leave, or I'll give you an inch punch you won't forget. Juliana's face flickered with terror. Ning Rongrong, the tiny golden figure of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School, was no joke. One blow from her could seriously injure someone. Cold sweat popped out on the back of her neck. Still, she squared her shoulders, closed her eyes, and tried a different tactic. Sincerity was the ultimate weapon. Just capture me. I won't resist. I believe Teacher Su will be fair. I also have more than 20 cups of Bloody Mary and some food from the Hell Slaughter Arena. Take them all. Go, 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 move aside. Spirit Hall girls are shameless. Quick, she's dangerous. Hulina's exaggeratedly submissive posture was almost comical. Ning Rongrong, seeing how contrite she was, couldn't bring herself to actually strike and instead hustled her 3 junior sisters away, leading Hulina with them. 1 year later, Slaughter Tavern. After being wounded by Zhu Zhuqing's other shore ghost shuttle, Tang San hadn't dared show his face in the city or enter the Hell Slaughter Arena much. He spent most days drinking at the Slaughter Tavern. A veiled young woman in black slipped in, stood at the bar beside him, and spoke in a neutral voice. No, 9528, it's been a year since your last victory in the Hell Slaughter Arena. Your survival term in Slaughter City ends today. You must enter the Hell Slaughter Arena immediately for a life-or-death duel, or, like other survivors, pay 2 cups of Bloody Mary per month. Tang San drained the blood brandy in front of him, a costly liquor made from Bloody Mary and fine brandy. He didn't answer. Instead, he summoned his clear sky hammer, walked out of the tavern, grabbed a passerby at random, and with one swing severed the man's head. Blood spurted from the neck. Blue-silver grass. Controlling crane. Catching dragon. Several tendrils of blue-silver grass lassoed a few wine cups, caught the spurting blood perfectly, and set them before the black-veiled woman. 4 cups. That covers 2 months, Tang San said flatly. And 2 more cups. Get me another blood brandy. The woman counted the blood, regarded Tang San for a long moment, and then said, "Since the Hell Savior and her group came to Slaughter City, you've kept out of the Hell Slaughter Arena. Are you afraid?" In the last 100 years, only 3 disciples of the Clear Sky Sect have come to Slaughter City. The first 2 left stellar reputations here, and you are the third, she continued. In 2 days, the Hell Savior will fight her 100th match. Their actions have already drawn the Slaughter King's ire. Spirit Douluo-level powerhouses will be sent after them in that duel. From our observations, your strength is no less than a Spirit Douluo's. If you don't want to tarnish the Clear Sky Sect's name, we expect you to take part in this Hell Slaughter Arena match. Tang San trembled but did not answer immediately. After a long hesitation, a bitter smile crossed his face. "I won't go." "Coward. Coward. Heh. With all due respect, the people you're talking about will be utterly annihilated. Do you think I don't want to go? Do you think I enjoy drowning myself in blood wine? No, I'm trying to numb the pain." He suddenly understood his father's drinking back then, helplessness in the face of reality. He knew how strong his opponents were, and that knowledge crushed him. In just over half a year, Zhu Zhuqing and Huo Wu had reached 99 wins in the Hell Slaughter Arena, a new record. Their unique skills had sharpened dramatically. Zhu Zhuqing's 9-yin white bone claw had become lethally precise, the yin 5 divisions capable of tearing through metal and stone with bare hands. Huo Wu had opened the 5th trigram gate. The 5 elements supported each other, and when used skillfully, doubled her strength. Ning Rongrong's adamantine inch punch was unstoppable, able to smash spirits and shatter steel bones as easily as mud. Her fist's power was likely no weaker than the Clear Sky Hammer. Ye Lingling was the scariest of all. Slaughter City was her domain. In half a year, the Black Lotus had bloomed, resolving the 9-heart Sea Tang spirit's flaws, and the 9 Revolutions Black Lotus had evolved into a 10-grade Black Lotus. It could not only create Sea Tang illusions, but could also annihilate the vitality of hundreds within 10 seconds, leaving only withered bones. Because he knew how terrifying they were, Tang San felt dispirited. Among the 4, he wouldn't be confident he could beat any of them. He still had no effective counter to Zhu Zhuqing's other Shore Ghost shuttle, something faster and more compact than the godly Zhuje crossbow. All he had now were the Flying God Claw and the godly Zhuje crossbow. He'd hoped 2 years' hard training would narrow the gap with the Taoyuan students, but he hadn't expected to be so far behind. Should he go and become a disciple of Taoyuan Academy? Was his current path wrong? Doubt clouded his weathered face. "Today will be a day of miracles for Slaughter City," one spectator murmured. "In the past year, 5 astonishing figures have appeared here. They've all reached 99 wins and will complete their 100th match today, opening the Hell Road Challenge. They are Hell Messenger, 9 Nether Demoness, Adamantine Fiend, Hell Savior." At such a historic moment, the Hell Slaughter Arena should have been packed. But there were surprisingly few onlookers. It wasn't that people weren't interested. Most of the fiends in Slaughter City had already been killed. The city's atmosphere was eerily calm and silent. No wonder the Slaughter King couldn't tolerate Ye Lingling and the others. Their presence had altered Slaughter City's balance too much. This was Slaughter City, not their cultivation playground. "All tolerance ends today," someone said grimly. Tang San was no longer the handsome youth he had been. Stubble covered his face, and he sat with a cup of blood wine among the spectators, resigned. Even facing a siege by 9 Spirit Douluo-level powerhouses without being allowed to use spirit abilities, it would be futile to resist. They would only become nourishment on the way to those bigger fighters' growth. Avoiding that sharp edge for now was the best plan. If the Taoyuan students left or died on the Hell Road, then Slaughter City would remain their ground. After 100 wins, they'll go to challenge the Hell Road. Is Teacher Su really not coming? Huliana kept pressing Ye Lingling. Ye Lingling was the least hostile toward her of the 4, and under Huliana's persistence, the Taoyuan students had reluctantly allowed her to stay. But every time Huliana mentioned their teacher, Ning Rongrong's fists tightened. "Are you here to train, or here for the teacher? That's our teacher. Your teacher is in the Supreme Pontiff's palace, all right?" Ning Rongrong snapped irritably. Huliana blinked. Over the past year, she had watched Ye Lingling and the others grow and had been awed. They were astonishing. They'd turned Slaughter City's killing intent into their own power, and their unique skills had become nearly unbeatable. Now she truly understood what those amazing, unique skills were. Taoyuan Academy was extraordinary. Not only could you learn incredible techniques there, the teachers were attractive as well. Being a Taoyuan student must be wonderful. Ning Rongrong stared at Hulina in disbelief. Shameless, she thought. This girl was even more shameless than I am. Chapter 145. In the next life, I won't be a disciple. I want to be teacher's wife. Congratulations, young slaughterers. You have made history in the Hell Slaughter Arena. 400 victories at the fastest pace. I am willing to specially bestow upon you 5 victors the title of Slaughter God and invite you to be guest elders of Slaughter City. From now on, you may enter and leave Slaughter City at will and enjoy privileges second only to mine. You will no longer need to risk the Hell Road. Do you accept? When the last of the 4 Taoyuan Academy disciples completed their 100th victory, the Slaughter King finally appeared. Amid the cheers, he descended from his blood-red throne, his face dark. The sudden rise of these 5 new slaughter gods had cost him a great number of followers, and worst of all, their leader, the Hell Savior, had publicly denounced his rule. The rules of Slaughter City are rotten, the Hell Savior had declared. Taking in villains here is not to give them life, but to feed on their blood and spirit power, like a butcher fattening livestock. This place can actually be better ordered. For a time, the idea spread like wildfire through Slaughter City. Under the law of the strong preying on the weak, most people lived under constant pressure. No one could guarantee they'd always stay strong. Without rules, life meant nothing. The Hell Savior's appeal, to keep some original humanity amid the bloodbath, gathered many followers among those not yet completely corrupted by the city. This was intolerable to the Slaughter King. These youths were shaking the 1,000-year-old order of Slaughter City. If they would swear fealty to him, perhaps he could forgive them. If not, then, Slaughter King, I'm sorry, but our teacher's goal for us is to obtain the Slaughter God domain by passing through the Hell Road. We must open the Hell Road, Ning Rongrong said on behalf of her 3 juniors, neither humble nor arrogant. Are you sure you want to challenge the Hell Road? The Slaughter King asked, staring at them. Confirmed, Zhuqing replied coldly. Ye Lingling and Huo Wu nodded as well. Hulina, quiet and steady, stayed behind them. I'm with Teacher Su's disciples, so you 5 want to go through the Hell Road together. Good, very good. This has never happened in Slaughter City, the Slaughter King said, amused and furious. You have broken the rules. Since you insist on passing the Hell Road together, welcome your first trial. Survive 1 hour against me. A brutal, evil aura poured from him, chilling the bones. Blood-red ripples spread from his feet and filled the Hell Slaughter Arena. The villains in the stands who loved blood roared with excitement. Their blood boiled at the Slaughter King's presence. Ning Rongrong and Ye Lingling, however, grew solemn. To open the Hell Road, they had to pass tests. This was probably one of them. The Slaughter King's power equaled that of any peak 98 Douluo. They were facing a powerhouse. 1 hour of survival seemed impossible. Perhaps in a fraction of that time he could kill them all. The Slaughter King's ultimatum was clear: submit or die. He made his move. The blood-colored light condensed into hordes of screaming crimson bats and charged. Con Gate, water cascade! Huo Wu reacted instantly. A 5 elements bagua pattern bloomed under her feet. She drew a globe of white-blue water from the Con Gate, then unleashed a waterfall from the air before her. The water ball rode the Tai Chi yin-yang momentum and exploded behind the cascade. Dozens of bloodbats fell, flapping and dying on the ground. Zhuqing moved like a shadow, her steps light as clouds. As she flashed past, dozens of cold blades of energy cut through the battalions and streaked for the Slaughter King in her 9 yin cold claws. He merely waved a massive hand. A wave of bloodlight submerged her claws. At the same time, Ye Lingling's 10-grade Black Lotus bloomed in her palm, the evolved 9 Revolutions Black Lotus unfurling like a danse macabre. Life is like a candle, burning down to ash. Black Lotus petals drifted, devouring the bloodlight wherever they passed and forming a gray shroud around the Slaughter King. The spirit power that devours life is interesting, the Slaughter King said, amusement in his voice. If you would stay in Slaughter City and be used by me, the city would become stronger. What a pity you refuse. It can eat the lives of ants, but it's useless against me. He spread a pair of fiery red, magma-like bat wings and a terrifying scarlet light spread, annihilating power in its path. Even Ning Rongrong, wrapped in a golden bell and with copper skin and steel bones, who had thrown everything into an inch punch, felt the bloodlight erode her. By the time her strike landed on the Slaughter King's forehead, its force was heavily diminished. No wonder you are called the invincible little Vajra in the Hell Slaughter Arena, the Slaughter King said with a hint of respect. To break through my blood barrier and touch me, the first in decades. Murder lit his eyes. If these five could cooperate, they'd be unstoppable. He could not allow them to pass to the Hell Road intact. They would have to leave their blood and spirit power here. Senior Sister Rongrong, Senior Disciple, Zhuqing, Huo Wu, and Ye Lingling fought to stabilize themselves as the Slaughter King's bloodlight surged again. Zhuqing was fastest. Her leg bones flared, dark shadow feathers sprouted from her back, and using body movement crossing yellow springs, she actually trod across the Slaughter King's fierce bloodlight. Her arms had turned pitch black. Earth, nether hand, blood Bodhi. A droplet of dark red Bodhi flew forth. This demonic artifact condensed all her spirit power and violence. The blood Bodhi, nourished by thousands of demonic bloods, was ferocious beyond measure. Even the Slaughter King's bloodlight couldn't compare. It ignored domains and currents, moving at supersonic speed. Teacher had made 2 such drops from blood-colored herbs and great quantities of evil beast blood, one given to Yuran, one to Zhuqing. The blood Bodhi tore through the air and struck the Slaughter King's right arm, the very arm forming a dreadful blood sword that had been breaking through Rongrong's defense. Blood spurted. Half the Slaughter King's body was thrown back by the inertia. His right arm was pierced clean through, a hole gaping in it. Tang San, watching from the fringe of the arena, was stunned. Zhuqing is only at level 60 spirit power, yet the drop she used pierced the Slaughter King's body. If Ning Rongrong hadn't blocked his torso and part of his head, his life might have been in doubt, he said. Is this the hidden weapon Suran taught her? It's more terrifying than the Guanyin tear recorded in the mysterious Heaven treasure record. Too bad it only hit his right arm. They'll still die if he decides to finish them. Instantly, Hu Liana, Huo Wu, and Ye Lingling unleashed everything they could. Hu Liana's innate charming fox ability tried to confuse the Slaughter King's mind. Huo Wu hammered down a Qiman, Heavenly Woodlock, a control move in Slaughter City strong enough to bind Spirit Saints and Spirit Douluo. Ye Lingling frantically circulated her 10-grade Black Lotus like a consuming wellspring. The Slaughter King ignored them. With a few seconds' effort, he blasted open Huo Wu's Heavenly Woodlock and made the Black Lotus's hunger seem endless. He showed no sign of weakening. 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years could pass under that pressure. Ning Rongrong's final inch punch did leave a fist mark on his glabella, but her strength was drained. The strike only left him dazed and angrier. All of you must die, he roared. Asura blood sword. Blood energy surged up, coalescing into a gigantic blood sword that the Slaughter King raised and slashed toward Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. The 2 nearest were utterly spent. Seeing the inevitable killing blow, panic hit them both. Oh, teacher, I'm really going to die, Ning Rongrong cried aloud. I won't pass your test. In my next life, I still want to be your disciple. No, in my next life, I want to be your wife. Teacher, did you hear me? This is my biggest regret in this life. Her eyes closed, she waited for death and shouted the loudest plea of her life. All right. The voice came like a warm certainty. I'm here. Teacher has always been here. The arena seemed to fold. A figure in a large black robe appeared in the center of the Hell Slaughter arena as if by instantaneous teleportation, standing directly before Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. In his palm he held a peach blossom branch, calm and poised. He faced the Slaughter King, ready to challenge him. Chapter 146, Teacher appears, reveals true face. The blood-red 9-headed Bat King sacrifices. Girls, you performed very well. Teacher is pleased that you fought to the last breath against such a powerful foe. You've grown more resolute and courageous. If your spirit power had been above 80 ranks today, even by relying on your own strength, the Slaughter King would have been helpless. Now, let teacher handle this. When that figure in the long black robe appeared, and that familiar, gentle voice rang out, Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing, Huo Wu, and Ye Lingling felt their hearts steady at once. The four young women stared at Suran's back, and tears welled up in their eyes, unable to be held back. Slaughter City might be a place that killed gods and slew Buddhas, but it was their first time here. Each had had to overcome massive inner obstacles and repeatedly teetered on the edge of madness and corruption. If not for teacher's voice echoing in their minds at crucial moments, calling them back from the brink, they wouldn't have made it this far so smoothly. Now they were facing an unbeatable opponent, the Slaughter King of Slaughter City. The feeling of helplessness and the presence of death crowded the air. They were already out of strength, and teacher had finally appeared. No one could imagine how relieved and excited they were. He's out. Teacher's finally here. Hulina, her strength drained and life source water spraying from her body as Suran moved, pressed her palm to her chest to steady herself. Among the five, she was the weakest and had contributed the least, but seeing the black-robed youth from behind, her eyes shone with devotion. Teacher Su, she breathed. Teacher Su is really here. Has he secretly been protecting his disciples all this time? He truly is the most unique teacher on the continent. This is too cool. Hulina was a complete fangirl, her face and eyes full of admiration. When Suran had once entered the Soul Master competition to defend the Peach Garden team and bravely pointed his sword at the Supreme Pontiff, she had already been stunned by his presence and looks. Now, protected by him, she realized how fortunate they were to have such a teacher, not only handsome, but responsible and commanding. That sense of security filled her completely. It's you. A year ago, I sensed something was different about you. You never participate in the Hell Slaughter arena, yet the strength you displayed could instantly kill even an inner-city spirit Douluo. I should have expelled you long ago, the Slaughter King snarled, his voice full of cold contempt as Suran stepped forward. Since you dare interfere with the Hell Road trial, you will leave your life here. The Slaughter King's terrifying aura pushed Suran back a few paces, but not enough to shake him. Around the arena, some of the audience began to fall into a wild frenzy. The Slaughter King fed on their blood. Crimson flowed across the ground and into shapes of bats, slowly healing the wound on his arm that had been caused by the Bodhi blood techniques. He set the Asura god sword horizontally, pointing it at Suran. Lingling, do you know why your life-devouring power had little effect on him? Suran asked calmly. Because his spirit power is far above yours, Ye Lingling said. That's only one reason, Suran replied. The other is that his own vitality is completely incomparable to that of a spirit master. Shrouded in his black robe, Suran turned to the Slaughter King. A rat that hid in the darkness and fed on weakness should have left Slaughter City when given the chance, he said. But you cling to the power and authority of this place, even breaking the rules of the Hell Road to personally attack the 100 Victories Slaughter God. That path will only lead to your extinction. As his words fell, the entire Hell Slaughter arena changed, completely. The crimson bloodlight faded. Instead, peach blossoms danced through the air. A massive peach tree burst forth above the slaughter, its flowering branches cutting through the carnage and standing tall over Slaughter City. A dazzling peach blossom immortal crown appeared above the tree. Glory Immortal Master Domain, Disciples 4. All disciples' attributes increased by 80%. Under Suran's feet, 9 spirit rings appeared, dazzling everyone. 4 black rings, 4 red rings, and a single gold-patterned red ring. The crowd gasped. Teacher, can use spirit abilities here, one of the disciples cried. As expected of our teacher. He can bypass the restrictions in Slaughter City? Someone else exclaimed. The disciples, having just been weeping, wiped their tears in shock. Around the arena, slayers stared in disbelief. Some were stunned, wondering if the colors of spirit rings had been misremembered. How could one man carry so many red rings? Rumors and rules murmured among them. To use spirit abilities in Slaughter City, you must be recognized by a slaughter god, or be a god yourself. No, this was different. This was a domain. Su Ran's domain was of a higher level than the Slaughter God domain or the Slaughter Forbidden Magic domain. The Slaughter King's face changed. He took a step back, alarm in his voice. Who exactly are you? I am their teacher, Su Ran said, and I am the one who will take your life. As the Slaughter King retreated, Su Ran advanced. A peach-scented breeze hummed. The ninth, gold-patterned spirit ring beneath his feet flickered. The peach branch in his hand shivered. Ninth spirit ability, extreme intent, freedom, peach blossom immortal descent, divine elegance, sword come. The giant peach tree burst into bloom, and red peach petals fell like rain. Among the falling blossoms descended a heavenly sword, peach white, engraved with gold patterns and adorned with twin dragons. The strike's force made all of Slaughter City tremble. The Slaughter King would not be careless. My sword is not without its edge, he shouted, and the Asura God sword in his hands transformed, its killing intent condensed into a blade of blood energy. He channeled all the blood resonances in his body into that sword, unleashing an absolute, brutal power. If Su Ran's blade had not been so blindingly fast, giving him no time to absorb the centuries of accumulated slaughter intent in the city, the Asura God sword might have reached the level of a divine ability. The Divine Elegance Peach Sword met the Asura God Sword in a collision that stole the world's color. The Hell Slaughter Arena shook violently, buildings cracked and fell as chaotic currents swept everything away. When the aura subsided enough to see, the Asura God Sword lay dislodged and vibrating among the ruins. The Slaughter King had been blown back, lying among the debris and coughing up a mouthful of vital blood. Several peach branches bound his crimson bat wings, and a golden glowing branch pressed into the center of his forehead. Su Ran's black robe had been sliced by bloody sword chi. The hood had been torn away. A peerless, arresting face appeared among the ruins, stern, cold. The Slaughter King had no time to admire it. The peach branch-wielding youth had already pierced the Slaughter King's brow and drawn blood, the blade poised as if to drive in deeper at any moment. I'll give you a choice, Su Ran said quietly. You don't have to die completely. You have 3 seconds to decide. Leave this body immediately and sacrifice yourself to that disciple of mine, he continued. Otherwise, this sword will pierce your skull and the spiritual sea within. 3, 2, 1. Chapter 47. Compared to becoming stronger, we actually want to be with Teacher Su forever. Is there any chance to survive if I sacrifice? Sacrifice. I choose to sacrifice. But can I sacrifice to you instead of your disciple? I am a 9-ring spirit master. What do you say? Boom. A crimson, 9-headed bat formed from the Slaughter King's soul, and a fierce crimson domain unfurled. Its gaze locked on the immortal-like young man, and the 9-headed bloody crimson bat king flushed crimson. It circled once in the air and instantly lifted the anti-magic suppression that had restrained all the disciples on the field. Their spirit ring arrangements and spirits were revealed, a necessary step for forming a sacrifice domain, and some of the killing intent pressing on Su Ran's body eased. At last, the 9-headed bloody crimson bat king chose its sacrifice target. I choose this god of slaughter, the 9-nether demoness, as the master to whom I will sacrifice myself. Zhu Zhuqing, release the 10 halls of Yama and let them receive its soul, Su Ran ordered. Zhu Zhuqing's head still swam from the earlier shock, her mind reeling, but when Teacher Su spoke, she didn't hesitate. 10 halls of Yama, activate! A terrifying Yama hall materialized behind her, layers upon layers of infernal scenes, rivers of boiling lava, endless falling blades, fatal black ropes. As a living environment, the 10 halls of Yama were even more horrific than Slaughter City. This environment is exquisite. You actually cultivated such a domain. This hellish palace is simply magnificent. The 9-headed bloody crimson bat king licked its chops, greed gleaming in its eyes. It roamed the main hall like a fish in water. This host was too perfect. Peach Immortal, if I dwell in your disciple's body, would you still dare to use a killing move on me? It taunted. A bloodthirsty spirit beast that coveted the power of Slaughter City and had even tried to inherit the Asura god's divine force through Tang Chen's body would not give up life and power at a single command. But the young man in the black robe seemed to have expected this. A Yama tower rose behind him as well, grander, more imposing than Zhu Zhuqing's. Ning Rongrong, who had partially recovered, couldn't help but exclaim in awe. Teacher Su's is so much bigger and fiercer. 8 Yama Kings appeared and guided Zhu Zhuqing's 4 Yama Kings to suppress the bloody Crimson Bat King. These Yama Kings were colossal beings. What they radiated was not slaughtering fury, but judgment, an aura designed to check slaughter and evil. Their massive hands seized the weakened Bat King and rolled it through the fire pits, ice caves, and blood pools inside the Yama Hall until it was thoroughly subdued and pleading for mercy. I was wrong. I truly was wrong, Peach Immortal. I am willing to sacrifice to the 9 Nether Demoness. I will dedicate my cultivation to her. Please, allow my soul to rest in the Yama Hall to recuperate and leave me a sliver of hope for resurrection in the future, may I? Permitted. Suran said a single word. A peach blossom talisman floated out and affixed itself to Zhu Zhuqing's 10 halls of Yama Tower. Words of confinement were engraved on it. 10 halls of Yama wide open. Evil thoughts recede. Peach Garden sincerely revealed. The moment the talisman attached, a terrifying power erupted, completely suppressing the bloody Crimson Bat King. If it refused to sacrifice, it would be tortured to death in hell by the combined Yama Kings. If it accepted, it would have to surrender all its power and leave only the faintest wisp of soul to recuperate inside the Yama Hall, retaining only a remote chance of future resurrection. Power surged into Zhu Qing, and beneath her feet a crimson spirit ring slowly formed. Astonishingly, the bloody Crimson Bat King was a 100,000-year spirit beast. The sacrifice produced a 100,000-year red spirit ring. Zhu Zhuqing stared at the ring in disbelief. A 100,000-year spirit ring, she was the first student in the academy to possess one, and it had been Teacher Su who fought to obtain it for her. Teacher Su! Her hands trembled. My spirit power, my spirit ring, so much power. Her spirit power leapt, past level 60, 62, 65, 68, the killing and evil she'd absorbed in Slaughter City, amplified by the bloody Crimson Bat King's sacrifice, pushed her through level 60 and finally to level 69. Sit cross-legged and digest the killing intent and spirit power. You've just acquired this strength. It's still unstable, Suran advised, pressing a hand to Zhu Zhuqing's shoulder. Zhu Zhuqing's face flushed with admiration. She obeyed and sat cross-legged to calm the surging energy and integrate her breakthrough. Teacher Su! Ning Rongrong suddenly barreled forward and threw herself into Suran's arms, clinging to his waist. Suran felt her chest grow damp. The girl had been terrified moments ago. Unusually, he didn't pull away. He stroked her head and soothed her gently. All right, it's fine now. The bloody Crimson Bat King has sacrificed itself. No one here can harm you anymore. Teacher Su, I was so scared too, Ning Rongrong sniffled. We thought you would go back to the academy and leave us. Your wisest and most astute eldest disciple almost never saw you again. Boo-hoo-hoo. Several students who had been weak and shaken regained some strength simply by seeing Teacher Su. Xiao Wu and Ye Lingling moved closer as well, leaning against him with looks of wounded affection. Of course I'm here, Suran explained. But I couldn't show myself openly. Doing so would greatly reduce the effectiveness of your cultivation in Slaughter City. As long as he was visibly present, they could not deeply temper themselves in the slaughter aura. He could only protect and guide them secretly. One day, they would each have to face the world on their own. He could not always accompany them. But we don't want to be separated from Teacher Su anymore, they blurted in unison. Especially in dangerous places. Compared to becoming stronger, we'd rather stay by Teacher Su's side forever. That would be enough. You girls, Suran said, looking at the cluster of disciples around him with a mixture of pride and worry. After more than a year of tempering in Slaughter City, you still think like this? What will you be like in the future if you cling to such naivete? He wondered if he'd been apart from them too long. He'd misread their tears as only attachment to their master-disciple bond, but their feelings were more than that. Valuing emotion to an extent was kindness, but putting it above everything else could be dangerous. Teacher Su, do you still remember me? A voice asked from among the collapsed pillars and ruins of the Hell Slaughter Arena. A charming young woman had crawled out and scrambled to her feet. When she saw the man she'd been longing for, her foxtail wagged uncontrollably and her eyes glimmered. Hu Lena of Spirit Hall, known here as the Hell Messenger, took in the scene. Ning Rongrong, Huo Wu, Ye Lingling gathered around Su Ran. Zhu Zhuqing, because of the compatibility of her cultivation method and unique skill, had even gained a 100,000-year spirit ring. They seemed to have found someone to rely on. Envy and longing twisted inside her, and something fundamental shifted. "Teacher Su," she blurted, as if compelled, "can I become your student and follow you to learn in the future?" Chapter 148, The Asura Sword's Climax and Recognition of its Master. Hu Lina, Charming Fox, age 23, Spirit Power, level 60, Innate Aptitude rating S+. Cultivation Guide, possesses innate charm. Charming Fox evolution can reach destiny. Current training direction is off, focused on slaughter. As several peach blossom branches drifted down, Su Ran's exquisitely handsome face remained composed. A panel flickered in his vision, displaying Hu Lina's aptitude information. Her potential was genuinely high. Otherwise, she wouldn't have stood out among Spirit Hall's younger generation, where spirit masters were most numerous and competition fiercest. It was obvious, though, that Supreme Pontiff Bibi Dong hadn't been the best teacher. She had steered Hu Lina toward a path of slaughter, just as she'd done for herself. A fox spirit was hardly the same as a spider spirit. Where other foxes used charm and cunning, Hu Lina's fox seemed easily flustered by handsome men. "If I'm not mistaken," Su Ran said, "your teacher, the Supreme Pontiff, values you greatly. What would she say if you studied under me?" Hu Lina brightened, hope flaring in her eyes. "Teacher Su." Su Ran gently shook his head. "If you're sincere and wish to improve, you may audit my lessons occasionally. As for becoming a disciple, that must wait until you have the Supreme Pontiff's approval and are free to decide for yourself." In Slaughter City, Hu Lina had been learning the Punish Evil Edict alongside Ling Shaoqi and Rongrong, lessons Su Ran had seen. She wasn't bad. She'd inherited a fox's charm, though not its guile. Her heart fluttered more easily than her wits. Hu Lina suppressed her disappointment at Su Ran's refusal and quickly rallied. At least he hadn't said no outright. He'd given her a chance. A metallic clang cut through the moment. The ruins trembled, all eyes narrowed. A blood-red longsword, its blade veined with dark golden demonic patterns, burst free from a crack in the stone and flew straight toward Su Ran. The sword trembled with anticipation, a viscous, blood-colored fluid oozing from its edge as it whirled in the air, ringing like a bell. "Enemies!" someone cried. "Protect teacher!" Someone else shouted. "Teacher, hold my waist! I'll get us out!" Ning Rongrong stepped forward, though her spirit power was depleted. She clenched a fist and launched an inch punch at the demonic blade. Huo Wu and Ye Lingling assumed defensive Tai Chi stances at Su Ran's sides. The cloud dream wings on Su Ran's back fluttered, and in a blink he teleported in front of Ning Rongrong. With a few taps of his peach blossom branches, he touched each of his 3 students. "You're overestimating yourselves," he chided softly. "Your spirit power is drained, yet you still try to stand in the way." 4 spirit recovery pills appeared in their hands. Huo Wu and Ning Rongrong stuck out their tongues and swallowed them without hesitation. Their spirit power surged back up within moments. Su Ran, however, kept his gaze fixed on the blood sword, expression tightening. This sword was more terrifying than the 9-headed bloody Crimson Bat King. Across the Douluo Continent, few things could rival it. If not for the fact the Bat King was a parasite bound to the Slaughter King and had never truly won the sword's recognition, its owner's victory would have been unlikely. The Asura demon sword circled Su Ran, buzzing, eager, as though testing him. A strange chill rode its ring. "Child, do not be afraid," croaked a voice. The Slaughter King, propped against a step, half lying and soaked in blood, squinted toward Su Ran and the sword. Life flickered weakly in his eyes. "The Asura demon sword does not wish to attack you. It recognizes you. It likes you, and it wants to stay by your side. Cough, cough. Teacher, be careful. The Slaughter King is still alive," Ning Rongrong warned, newly restored. Su Ran waved off their concern. He wasn't worried. "I didn't participate in the Asura trials. Why would it recognize me?" He knew the Slaughter King's body held 2 consciousnesses. The true master was Tang Chen, an ancestor of the Clear Sky Sect and Tang San's great-grandfather. Tang Chen, a limit Douluo at level 99, had once been equal to the likes of Qian Daoliu and unbeatable on land. He had come to the land of slaughter to pursue divinity through the Asura god's 9 trials. During the 8th trial, after exhausting his mental reserves and beset by multiple factors, he had been parasitized by the 9-headed, bloody Crimson Bat King. The Bat King seized his body and made him the Slaughter King of Slaughter City. Su Ran's confrontation with the Bat King had been, in part, an act of liberation. At Su Ran's question, the old man's face shifted into a faintly surprised, puzzled smile. "You know of the Asura trials?" "That's right," the Slaughter King, Tang Chen, said weakly. His voice was ragged. Vitality had drained from him. "You should have reached this stage with your talent. You're fortunate, child." He coughed, and his expression grew grave. "The Asura demon sword is a reward from the god trials, but it also carries a god's will. Only those it accepts have a chance to inherit a god's position. Only those it recognizes can truly claim that position. It is the true vessel and the final test." His gaze sharpened as he looked straight at Su Ran. "The Asura demon sword has recognized you. Its attachment to you surpasses what it felt for me. Incredible. I must congratulate you. You've obtained the ticket to becoming a god with startling ease." Tang Chen's voice steadied with a resigned warmth. "I am old now. I no longer have the years left to pass those trials. For my final task, I must leave to fulfill an old promise. Child, you are exceptional, the most exceptional I have ever seen. Will you accept the mantle of this place? Will you become the new master of Slaughter City, the new Slaughter King, the ruler of this city of sin?" A murmur rippled through the Hell Slaughter arena. The audience was still reeling from the earlier battle. Now they focused on the frail Slaughter King and the figure standing opposite him. Slaughterers and Terranites streamed in from the inner city, drawn by the arena's fluctuations, eager to learn what had happened. When they saw the peerless man in the arena, untouched by killing intent, radiating a power that even the Slaughter King could not match, and the Asura demon sword circling him like a devoted hound, voices rose in a tumult of shock and excitement. "Slaughter King! The new Slaughter King! We support the new king! Slaughter City needs a new leader! We need a new order!" The voices swelled into a roar. In that instant, the Asura demon sword hovered at Su Ran's side, its buzzing settling into a low, satisfied hum. Whatever fate awaited at the end of the god trials, the sword's recognition had already cast its shadow. Slaughter City was on the cusp of change. Chapter 149, The Birth of a New Slaughter King. Disciples Ye Lingling and Zhu Zhuqing defend their titles. Asura Demon Sword, Slaughter King, God Position. Su Ran's mind stirred at the thought. The Asura god's god position was a top-tier rank in the god realm. In his previous life on Earth, many youths had adored the Asura god. Was it the right choice? "Stop bothering me." While Su Ran hesitated, the Asura demon sword buzzed at his side. He lazily waved his hand and sent it flying. The blade slammed against the Hell Slaughter arena wall. The sword picked itself up and floated back, its blade slightly bent, and in a soft, almost pleading tone it whimpered, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I just want to stay by your side. Don't abandon me." The Asura demon sword, so obsequious? The sight stunned Tang Chen. He had never been treated like that. When he had first faced the Asura demon sword, it had radiated a terrifying killing intent. He'd paid dearly to gain it, but it had remained indifferent and never given him its full power. Now, watching this refined young man, unchanged by the surrounding darkness, Tang Chen listened as the slaughterers' cheers rose around them. Even before becoming Slaughter King, this youth had already won their adoration and fanaticism, surpassing the former king. The black-veiled maidens and slaughter messengers who had served the old Slaughter King blushed beneath their veils and masks, shouting and cheering. "The new Slaughter King is so handsome. We welcome your rule. Under you, Slaughter City will thrive. The Hell Savior calls him teacher. Even the Hell Savior changed Slaughter City's rules. Our teacher will give us a better life." Most villains who came to Slaughter City didn't aim to become powerful. They wanted only to survive. Once inside, they found two choices: be killed or kill, and they couldn't leave. But under Su Ran's divine peach heaven domain, the mind-bending, murderous influence of the blood mist was suppressed, and many slaughterers regained their reason. The young man's looks, temperament, and teaching philosophy had already conquered them. "Have you made up your mind?" Tang Chen asked. "I have. Suran finally spoke, his voice casual and calm. I will not take the position of Slaughter King. I am a teacher who educates, not a warden who manages criminals and thugs. You refuse the Slaughter King? Tang Chen cried. You know even the Asura demon sword recognizes you now. If you stayed, passing the Asura 9 trials would be almost certain. The Asura god's god position would be yours, yet you choose to cling to being a teacher? A god position is rare, Suran said, but in life there are things more precious than a title. Besides, though I won't be the Slaughter King, I can recommend who should be. He reached out and took hold of the Asura demon sword. The sword, eager at his touch, flew into his hand, allowing him to direct it. With the Asura sword in his grasp, Suran addressed the entire Hell Slaughter arena, and indeed all of Slaughter City. The old Slaughter King is gone. A new Slaughter King will be established. I am recognized by Asura, and I will give the citizens of Slaughter City 2 choices. 1. The citizens will compete among themselves to decide the Slaughter King. 2. My disciples will jointly govern. The 9 Nether Demoness and the Hell Savior will be the new Slaughter Kings, assisted by the Adamantite Fiend, Slaughter Little Rabbit, and the Hell Messenger, to manage Slaughter City together and rebuild order. You each have 2 peach petals to choose from. Choosing 1 complete petal means choosing the first option. Choosing 2 petals means choosing the second. Begin your selection. At Suran's words, a great peach tree burst into bloom at the center of the Hell Slaughter arena. Its branches spread until even the far edges of Slaughter City could see the magnificent peach blossom world tree. Countless petals drifted on the wind, scattering through every district. When the slaughterers heard Suran and saw a sky filled with peach light, they were moved. This spectacle was unlike anything in Slaughter City's history. 2 choices, 2 peach petals, some shouted. 1 petal brings back the old way, settling the matter through slaughter. 2 petals bring a new possibility. How should we choose? Others asked. I choose the disciples. 2 petals. I trust the Hell Savior. Everyone, choose 2 petals. Do you hear me? In the Hell Slaughter arena, the crowd chose first. As hands brushed the 2 petals floating before them, the blossoms turned to streams of light and shot up toward the peach tree, forming the number 2. Slaughter Knights rode out, galloping through the city, calling to everyone, choose 2. Choose 2 peach petals. That day, Slaughter City erupted. Beams of peach light shot from every corner like falling stars. The petals coalesced above the arena into a giant character 2, brilliant and shining. A smaller one of blossom lay beside it, barely a tenth its size. Citizens clambered onto rooftops to watch. It was clear, most had chosen the new order, the new possibility. It seems most of you reject the old system. You have chosen a new way. Suran planted the Asura demon sword before him, looked at his disciples, Ye Lingling, Zhu Zhuqing, the 9 Nether Demoness, the Hell Savior, and at Hu Liana, and asked evenly, Then, are you willing to become the kings of Slaughter City and take on its governance? This was the world they had carved for themselves, their opportunity, the chance their teacher had given them. Chapter 150. What's so great about marrying a cold demon sword? My soft-boned rabbit is warm and comfy. Teacher, can we really do this? This responsibility and authority, can we truly control them? At the moment, Zhu Zhuqing had only just calmed the blood-red spirit energy that surged after her breakthrough. The soul of the blood-red bat king had condensed into a palm-sized crimson bat and now fluttered uselessly inside her 10 halls of Yama, losing any hint of menace. Hearing Teacher Su's question, Zhu Zhuqing and the others felt a weight settle on their chests. They had trained under Suran for 3 or 4 years, but none of them had experience running a city, let alone one called Slaughter City. Hulina was stunned too. There's even a share for me? I only wanted to get on well with Teacher Su's students, make it through the Hell Road together, and leave a good impression. How did I end up being handed the title of Slaughter City Governor? Zhuqing, Lingling, Suran said. You've trained in Slaughter City for over a year. You know better than anyone that this place is an unparalleled training ground for cultivation. It's only natural that you should govern it. You've both already made names for yourselves here. Maybe none of you yet have the strength to be a Slaughter King alone, but together you can hold this city. Even an ordinary titled Douluo would find it hard to trouble you inside Slaughter City. With time, cultivating here, you will reach the level of a titled Douluo. Do you remember what you swore when you first entered Slaughter City? If you follow the Academy's principles, reward the good, punish the wicked, give opportunities to the righteous, then you can truly change this city. Are you willing to accept the challenge? If so, place your hands on the hilt of the Asura sword. I believe in you. Suran looked at Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Lingling. Given their talent and current strength, stepping forward to become the city's rulers would mark a profound change for them, exactly the kind of growth he wanted to see in his students. Teacher, if you say we can, then we can, Zhu Zhuqing answered. I'm willing to accept this challenge, to govern Slaughter City. Ye Lingling bit her lip, stepped forward, and placed her right hand on Suran's on the sword's hilt, gripping it tightly. Suran was right. Slaughter City had become her haven. Here she had corrected the genetic flaw in her spirit, Nine-Heart Sea Tang, and between Nine-Heart Sea Tang and the Nine Revolutions Black Lotus, two deep, interwoven roots had taken hold, reversing fate itself. When you drink water, never forget the well digger. The predecessors plant trees for the future. Since this place had given her power, she felt a responsibility to make it better. I'll listen to Teacher Su too, Ning Rongrong cried, eyes wide when she saw Ye Lingling's hand. Huo Wu surged forward and, with excited energy, placed her hand on top. Zhu Zhuqing and Hu Lina inhaled, stepped forward, and together the six of them joined hands on the hilt, their gazes hardening. Since the people of Slaughter City have trusted us and Teacher Su, then we are willing to try. Very good. Relief and pride lit Suran's face, happier than if he had become Slaughter King himself. A powerful aura erupted from the Asura demon sword as Suran addressed it. The Slaughter King governs Slaughter City and possesses the forbidden magic domain. This domain, stronger than the ordinary Slaughter God domain, is bestowed by the Asura sword. It can restrict spirit masters inside the domain from releasing their spirit abilities. Asura sword, do you approve of these disciples of mine? The Asura sword trembled at Suran's voice, hesitant. The students had performed admirably, but the sword's fondest memories were still of its previous master, the Peach Blossom Lord. Woo woo woo. After a pause, a dark domain sigil bloomed around each of the six. The Asura sword dared not deny them, better to grant its ascent than be sent flying again. On Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Lingling, the sigils were blood red, Asura patterns with faint gold edges. On Ning Rongrong, Huo Wu, and Hu Lina, they were edged in silver. The meaning was clear. Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Lingling would be the leaders of Slaughter City with the strongest forbidden domain. The other three would be subordinate rulers with slightly weaker forbidden domain abilities. Go, Suran said, withdrawing his hand. With a casual flick, he tossed the Asura sword. It landed perfectly atop the highest point of the slaughter hall. The new rulers of Slaughter City have appeared. From now on, any wanton killers or those utterly given to evil who break the city's laws shall be judged by the Asura sword. The proclamation spread through Slaughter City. The sword, hung high, was a living symbol of warning and judgment, but it clearly didn't want to stay put. It rang and rattled, as if nervously trying to leave its perch. I know you'd like to follow me, Suran said to the Asura sword, but the new kings have just been established. Everything starts anew. You are the divine artifact of Slaughter City. I hope you'll help my disciples watch over this place. If they truly manage it well, I promise I'll come myself to take you. Suran's words calmed the sword. Zhuqing and the others still lacked some personal strength to govern the city alone. They needed a permanent guardian. The Asura demon sword, persuaded, finally settled, muttering to itself. You said you'd come for me personally, it seemed to whisper. Mary? A small, puzzled voice squeaked. Huo Wu's head bobbed, confused. Teacher Su wants to marry a demon sword? Oh no, Teacher Su, don't marry a sword. Marry me instead, okay? What's so good about marrying a sword? It's cold and icy. Huo Wu, a soft-boned rabbit, thought of how warm and pliant her own bones were. Much more comfortable. Slaughter King! Slaughter King! Shouted the crowds. They're our new kings. They're the saviors of slaughter. A blood-red stairway extended from the Hell Slaughter Arena up to the throne at the top of the slaughter hall. Under Suran's trusting gaze, Zhu Zhuqing, Ye Lingling, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Hulina climbed the ladder together, step by step until they reached the slaughter throne. Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Lingling sat side by side, hands clasped, and looked down over Slaughter City. The city's accumulated Asura ki connected with them in that instant, amplifying their power many times over. Their auras shifted. No longer simply trainees, they now radiated authority and strength. The ascension of the 5 rulers set Slaughter City aflame with cries. Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Lingling exchanged a steadying look, drew on their courage, and addressed the tumultuous crowd in cold, commanding voices. "We are the new administrators of this city," they declared. "We are not the Slaughter King. The title of Slaughter King will be discarded. Slaughter implies a place where slaughter rules, where the strongest born of slaughter reigns. From now on, wanton killing is forbidden in Slaughter City. The title will be changed from Slaughter King to King of Judgment. This city will provide safe refuge. In return, you will contribute to the strength and peace of this place. All evildoers here will face judgment. What constitutes a crime and what punishment it merits, we will develop and refine in time. Remember this: kindness, peace, and honest labor will win you the protection and provisions of the judges. Violence and wickedness will be purged. This is the city of judgment. It is no longer a city that condones sin." Their words struck deep. The techniques Su Ran had taught them, the 10 halls of Yama, the punishments of hell, the soul-sucking technique to strip truth from the wicked, suddenly became the perfect instruments of judgment. Everyone understood then that this had been Su Ran's plan all along, to take the skills of slaughter and turn them into tools of law and justice. Chapter 151. Tang San pours his heart out, kneels to acknowledge a teacher. "Congratulations. You are the youngest Slaughter King in the history of Slaughter City. No, now you should be called the Judgment King. Child, your students are truly extraordinary. Each and every one of them is among the finest I have ever seen. I have completed my mission here. It is time for me to leave." Cough. Tang Chen's voice trembled with feeling as he took in the new atmosphere of Slaughter City. Even he had never expected Slaughter City to become what it was now. Propping himself up on failing legs, he shuffled slowly toward Su Ran and drew a small golden hammer from his robe. The hammer had a black gem set on each face and looked exquisitely wrought. "Before I go, there is something I want to discuss," Tang Chen said, forcing a smile. "You must have heard of the Clear Sky Sect. I was once its sect master. Your strength is exceptional. You will surely go far. I would like to represent the Clear Sky Sect and forge a good relationship with you. This little hammer is the Clear Sky Token, the Chief Elder's Token. Present it to the current sect master of Clear Sky, and you will be able to make me an honorary elder in their elder hall." If Ning Rongrong and the others had climbed down from the slaughter throne and heard him, they would likely have wanted to shake the old man and retort, "Honorary elder? As if our teacher cares for your feudal sect's token. You hide away in the mountains and dare to show off before him? You were a nobody before he crushed the blood-red Bat King. Call him benefactor. Got it?" But they didn't speak. Su Ran only gave a slight bow of acknowledgement and answered gently, "Senior, I'm sorry. I don't know the location of the Clear Sky Sect. I can't help you with this, and I don't wish to accept the token." Tang Chen's brow furrowed. "You don't know its location? The Clear Sky Sect is the head of the upper 3 sects," surely inquiring. "Alas, you're a man of your time. Perhaps such matters are best left to younger people," he muttered, trying to hide his disappointment. "If you don't wish to have me arrange it, then at least let me entrust the token to you for safekeeping." He looked at Su Ran with regret. With this young man's strength and the talent of his disciples, in time, they could become a force on par with the upper 3 sects. Su Ran's appearance was remarkable. He had even earned the recognition of the Ashura demon sword. If he ever married into a powerful family, the Clear Sky Sect might have no cause to worry about its future. Still, Su Ran only smiled faintly and declined. Teacher Su, this disciple is willing to acknowledge you as my master and study at Taoyuan Academy." Before Tang Chen could think of any more persuasive words, a blue-haired figure blurred past and dropped to his knees in front of Su Ran with a thud. Seeing the youth's build, Su Ran's expression flickered with surprise. "Teacher Su, don't you recognize me? It's me, Tang San. with the blue-silver grass spirit. Tang San thought Su Ran didn't speak because he didn't recognize him, so he hurriedly removed his mask and revealed the blue-silver grass curled in his palm. "I remember you," Su Ran said simply. Tang San's heart leapt. Su Ran's 4 words set his hopes alight. "Teacher, please accept me. I want to improve. Zhuqing, Xiao Wu, Meng Yiran, Du Guyan, Ye Lingling, they've all changed under your guidance. They've become extraordinary. I want to be like them, stronger, better. I'll do anything. I'll learn anything." He spoke with genuine earnestness. When Xiao Wu had first urged him to acknowledge a master, Tang San had already felt torn. Seeing Taoyuan Academy perform so well in the Soul Master competition had only tempted him further, but out of respect for his Grandmaster's stance, he had not chosen. Now, Grandmaster Yu Xiaogong was crippled, and Xiao Wu and the others had distinguished themselves in the Hell Slaughter arena and become judges in Slaughter City. How could he simply remain on the sidelines? Su Ran's eyes swept over him again. The brief scan that passed through his gaze was clinical and precise. Tang San, approximately 18 years old. Twin spirits, blue-silver emperor, clear sky hammer. Spirit power level 53. Innate full spirit power. Dual world mental force. 100,000-year spirit bone. Studying unique skills such as mysterious heaven technique, disorder-splitting windhammer method, clear sky 9 absolutes, etc. Twisted Tao heart. Current cultivable potential, S. Current character cultivable potential. The assessment was accurate. Tang San's innate cultivation potential was indeed remarkable, one of the highest among the Shrek 7 devils, nearly SS level. Second only to Qian Renxue. The pity lay in his character potential. That rating dragged his overall prospects down to E. It reminded Su Ran of someone he knew, Tang San's teacher, Grandmaster Yu Xiaogang. The familiarity of the combination of talent and problematic character struck Su Ran with a mix of amusement and sorrow. On the surface, Su Ran remained calm, but inside he was moved. "I remember you," he repeated. Tang San's pleading intensified. "Teacher Su, I'm sincere. Why won't you accept me? Teacher Su, you see my potential. Why refuse me at the door? Why do you all treat me like this?" He couldn't help shouting, "Why? Why?" In his previous life, the Tang sect had refused to teach him the mysterious heaven treasure record and hidden weapons. Now Su Ran would not take him as a disciple either. What was wrong with him, Tang San wondered, his heart torn. "Teacher Su, please accept me," he begged again. "If I join Taoyuan Academy, I will be well behaved. I'll train hard, follow the rules, never act rebelliously." "Look, Teacher Su, my first spirit, the blue-silver grass, isn't a waste spirit. It's actually the king among plants, the blue-silver emperor, a top-tier plant spirit with a royal bloodline." The blue-silver grass leaves in his palm gleamed like clear jewels, faint veins of gold rippling across them. "And I have 2 spirits. My second is also a top-tier tool spirit on the continent, the clear sky hammer, the same hammer that once shook the world with its fame. See?" A black hammer appeared in Tang San's left hand, its presence commanding. He didn't hesitate to show his martial foundation. "And Teacher Su, about the unique skills the senior sisters at the academy cultivate, I've had contact with those techniques too. I have experience and I learn fast. I'll catch up quicker than they will. I'll become stronger. I won't let you down." For a long moment, Su Ran listened in silence. Then, in his calm, measured voice, he answered softly but firmly, "It is good to have a desire for knowledge, but I cannot accept you as my disciple. If you truly strive to change, with your own potential, you can still make something of yourself." Tang San's face fell at the refusal. He had hoped this place, Taoyuan Academy, the path of those he admired, would be his way forward. Su Ran's words were not a final denial of his worth, but they were not the welcome he had yearned for either. Still, the youth would not give up easily. He kept pouring out his sincerity, determined that someone would see the resolve behind his faults. Chapter 152. Tang Chen brutally beats his unfilial great-grandson, Tang San. "Clear Sky Hammer?" Su Ran asked flatly. "You're a Clear Sky Sect disciple?" Tang San's earnest pleadings didn't sway the Peach Garden immortal. Instead, Tang Chen looked at him with an odd, pleased surprise. Tang San barely registered the old man. His focus was on winning Su Ran over. Taoyuan Academy, Xiao Wu, better hidden weapons than those of the Tang sect, and top-tier ultimate techniques, was a dream. He had wasted so much time already. All that mattered now was convincing this teacher to take him. "Child, look me in the eye. Do you know who I am?" Tang Chen demanded, his voice suddenly heavy with authority. Tang San shot him a cool, indifferent glance that stung Tang Chen. He couldn't fathom where this injured old Slaughter King got the nerve. Tang San stood, turned back to Su Ran, and bowed respectfully. "Teacher, please believe me. If you accept me, I won't disappoint you," he said. Then, voice raising with determination, "Slaughter King, fight me. Let teachers see that my strength is not inferior to the other students of Taoyuan Academy." He had seen Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing, Ye Lingling, and Huo Wu display their improvements and gain Su Ran's praise. Tang San decided to emulate them. If he could show himself in combat, perhaps the Peach Garden Immortal would not refuse him. He gambled that Su Ran would not stand by and watch a student be overwhelmed, and he gambled his own strength could at least trade blows for a while. Clear Sky Hammer. Tang San hefted the hammer in one hand, the other ready to command Blue Silver Grass. Purple Demon Eye. Ghost Shadow Perplexing Track. He surged forward, elusive and swift. Seeing Tang San rush him with the Clear Sky Hammer, Tang Chen's nostrils flared with fury. "Since I broke through to title Douluo, I never imagined a Clear Sky brat would dare challenge me with the Clear Sky Hammer," he sneered. "So bold, these Clear Sky Sect kids nowadays." Tang Chen had meant to spare the boy at first, to dodge and test him, but Tang San's eyes burned with contempt at the insults toward his sect, and Tang Chen's mockery only fired him up more. "How dare you insult the Clear Sky Sect? You're courting death," Tang San shouted. "Blue Silver Emperor, binding. Clear Sky 9 absolutes, pervasive character art, continuous flow, overlapping attacks." He swung the hammer, pouring everything into the strike. Tang Chen ground his teeth, not because he couldn't fight, but because he was furious. Furious that this brat dared to use the sect's name. "This old man wants to see how well you handle the Clear Sky Hammer," he growled. Su Ran watched from the side, interest sharpening. This Tang Chen ought to be the foremost master of the Clear Sky Hammer, who was disciplined by whom here? Grandmaster chastising a junior, or ancestor training a descendant? "Brat, your hammer technique is good, but it lacks refinement," Tang Chen said. "Tell me, which bastard is your grandfather?" As originator of the Clear Sky 9 absolutes and creator of the great Sumeru hammer, Tang Chen had long been one with his weapon. He could predict Tang San's moves. Still, the boy's footwork and the interference of his blue-silver grass were annoyances. If properly guided, Tang San could be a future sect talent. That thought pleased Tang Chen, but the boy's tactics angered him. He despised sneak attacks and poison above all. "You're the bastard!" Tang San snapped when Tang Chen continued to insult his lineage. Another blow rang out. As Tang Chen dodged, Tang San's sleeves whirred. He widened the gap and addressed Su Ran. "Teacher Su, this is my self-created top-tier hidden weapon, the torrential pear blossom needles. Please judge my talent against Mengyuran and the others." Click, 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 the sound of Tang San's mechanism whistling. Dark streaks flashed and coalesced into 36 needles, launched at Tang Chen. The torrential pear blossom needle was one of Tang San's deadliest Tang sect hidden weapons, capable of killing a 10,000-year spirit beast. Against a normal enemy, they would be devastating. Tang Chen, however, was not a normal enemy. He was badly wounded and on the edge of his limits, but he treated this bout like a final master's lesson. He wasn't overly cautious. He wanted to correct Tang San's faults, not merely defend himself. When the 36 needles flew, Tang Chen blocked 33 in a blur, but his focus slipped for the fraction of a moment, and 3 needles found purchase in his left leg, left arm, and over his heart. Pain flared, the wounds darkened. "Little bastard, learning nothing but sneak attacks and poison," Tang Chen barked. "The Clear Sky Hammer's might is absolute, one force to conquer 10 skills. Such despicable tricks." A terrifying aura blew out from Tang Chen. He drove the 3 needles out of his flesh and bone by sheer force, and a heavy hammer, dark gold and formidable, manifested in his hand. He did not care about the wounds. What enraged him was the dishonor of ambush and poison, methods he had spent his life fighting against, methods used to betray him by the blood-red Bat King and Parasite for decades. Unfilial descendant, watch closely. This is the true Clear Sky 9 absolutes. He began his namesake forms, each title striking like thunder. Empty character art, all-encompassing, echoing in an empty valley. Penetrating character art, movement and stillness combined, a single point to pierce the surface. Collapse character art, meteor radiation, mountains fall. 9 absolutes merged, clear sky twilight. Boom, boom, boom. In the Hell Slaughter arena, the roars rolled up like thunder. Tang Chen moved as if blinking across short distances. Each hammer blow landed with crushing force on Tang San. Though battered and barely sustaining his body, Tang Chen was still a level 99 limit Douluo. Even a starving camel is larger than a horse. His power was simply beyond Tang San's capacity to resist. Tang San was battered like a punching bag, rolled and slammed across the arena. The final strike, a dusk-like doom, left him tasting death. When Tang Chen finished his 9 absolutes and stilled, Tang San lay half prone, bruised and swollen, one eye nearly closed, blood seeping from his 5 orifices. He wiped his mouth, fear and resentment mingling in his voice. "Who are you? How do you know the clear sky 9 absolutes?" he gasped. Tang Chen's form wavered, thin as residual smoke. "This old man, Clear Sky Sect, Tang Chen," he said. "Tang Chen." Hearing the name, Tang San's anger softened into astonishment. His body trembled. Could this be his father's grandfather, the legendary Clear Sky Elder missing for decades? He dropped to his knees with a thud. "Great-grandfather, my father is Tang Hao, and I am your great-grandson, Tang San." He bowed his head. "This unfilial great-grandson was disrespectful. Please punish me, great-grandfather. Also, this is the antidote for the torrential pear blossom needle's poison. Please take it." Tang Chen exhaled, a small, bitter laugh escaping him. "Forget it, no need. Such a little poison means nothing to me." His appearance flickered. He was a residual soul, barely holding a body together. Using the clear sky hammer had pushed him to the limit. Poison could harm a body, but what did that matter to a lingering soul? "I never thought you'd be Howard's son, and his child has grown so fast." His voice softened with a strange, tired pride. Then he produced a token. "This is the Clear Sky token. Since the Peach Garden Immortal is unwilling to accept it, I will give it to you. To see my great-grandson before I go, that's fortune enough for this old man." Tang Chen's gaze shifted to Su Ran. His face, which had not begged anyone in his life, grew earnest. "Peach Garden Immortal, this old man has never begged. This child is obsessed with becoming your disciple, and I know you are no ordinary person. Before I depart, I will beg for him once. For the sake of this old man and the Asura demon sword, please accept him as your disciple." Chapter 153. I, Su Ran, accept disciples kneeling. Tang San is not worthy of kneeling. "Teacher Su, please accept me as your disciple. I swear I will do well and not disappoint you." Tang San's great-grandfather's plea gave him a thread of hope. His face was battered and twisted from the beating, drool still leaking from the corner of his mouth, but he looked at Su Ran with a desperate eagerness. If Su Ran would only give him a chance, he could climb, step by step, to the very top, surpass every other disciple. Ambition flashed in his eyes. Su Ran looked at him calmly. "When I take disciples, I place more weight on fate than on anyone's face." He continued without heat. "Besides, you haven't helped me, nor I you. The Asura demon sword chose its master. On the other hand, I helped you. If I hadn't forced out the 9-headed Bat King, your great-grandfather would have been completely consumed by it, his soul erased. I called you senior, but do you truly think you are my senior?" Tang Chen choked on those words. His mouth opened and shut without reply. When had he ever been spoken to like that? At his peak, anyone who answered back would have been smashed by his clear sky hammer. But now, fine. If you won't accept him, this old man won't force it. The men of Clear Sky stand tall and proud, imposing and domineering. Each carries my stature. Since you look down on him, boy, you must train hard in our sect's unique methods so you won't be inferior to anyone. Come, great-grandson, I will transmit to you the true meaning of the great Sumeru hammer." Tang Chen laughed and tapped Tang San's brow. A grand, domineering hammer intent flowed into Tang San's mind, real and overwhelming. For an instant, Tang San felt the might of a master. Then Tang Chen coughed up blood. His remnant soul separated from his body, flickering and thin as if any moment it would dissipate. Tang San lunged to support him, but his hands passed through the remnant soul. He stared, bewildered. "Great-grandfather, what's happening? It's time. Nothing you can do. Boy, don't ever disgrace this old man. Be upright and honorable. Win with honesty and strength. Make him understand that refusing you today is his loss. Understand? Those were Tang Chen's last words. After he spoke them, his soul drifted upward and vanished over Slaughter City. Su Ran watched without visible emotion. Tang San scrambled to his knees and kowtowed, face desperate. Teacher Su, great-grandfather spoke rashly. Please don't take it to heart. You must know what happened to him. Tell me, what happened to my great-grandfather? Su Ran explained quietly. For many years, your great-grandfather was parasitized by the nine-headed Bat King. The Bat King controlled his body and devoured and suppressed his soul. Only when I forced the Bat King out could his remnant soul finally breathe. With the little soul power he had left, he could barely control his body and attempt to purge the blood fiend energy left behind. But your attack on him made his aura chaotic. He was ultimately struck by your torrential pear blossom needle. The poison invaded and shattered the balance between his soul and body. Now his remnant soul has left his body with nothing to cling to. He can no longer maintain a physical state and will soon dissipate. Su Ran touched his sleeve and sent a peach blossom branch drifting over. It plucked the torrential pear blossom needle from the ground where it lay. The needle was pitch black. The branch that touched it showed blackish-purple wilting, proof it was no ordinary toxin. It was a highly refined venom, soaked long and combined with the needle's explosive power. On the current Douluo Continent, it was a definite killing weapon. Su Ran studied Tang San. The boy looked righteous, but he was cruel in practice. Su Ran was no stranger to poisons. He'd once used a life-and-death talisman that had made poisoned Douluo Dubo doubt his life. He avoided casually applying poisons or hellish artifacts. Such techniques were insidious and impossible to guard against. In the wrong hands, they would bring untold suffering. Tang San's face went pale, then cold. His eyes widened. Teacher Su, are you saying I killed my great-grandfather? Su Ran said nothing. If he answered that Tang San had killed him, that would be true if only by accelerating his death. If he said he hadn't, it wouldn't change that Tang Chen might not have survived even without the attack. He only said, remember what your great-grandfather taught you. Be an upright person. The peach blossom branch faded. Su Ran smoothed his sleeves. More and more people had gathered around the Hell Slaughter arena. It was time for him to go. Those girls would have many questions about managing Slaughter City. As Su Ran turned, Tang San grabbed the hem of his dark robe and slammed his forehead to the ground, kowtowing frantically. Teacher Su, I know of your skills, the ice and fire yin-yang well. There must be immortal herbs there that can save great-grandfather. You possess those herbs and can even change your disciples' bodies. You must be able to save him. Please, accept me as your disciple and save my great-grandfather. A peach blossom branch rested against Tang San's brow. Su Ran sighed. Do you know why I won't help you? Why I won't accept you? Tang San looked up, desperate. Please, teacher, explain. I can change. I can fix anything that's wrong. Because you have no gratitude. You turn against those who helped you. Yu Xiaogong and Huo Wu are proof of that. The words struck Tang San. He trembled and protested. Teacher, how can Yu Xiaogong be like that? He misled students. He made me absorb low-grade spirit rings when I started. He didn't help me much. As for Huo Wu, I feel guilty toward her. I never meant to hurt her. If I become a student at Taoyuan Academy, I'll make it up properly. Su Ran only chuckled. No, in your mind, I am the same as Yu Xiaogong. Tang San burst out. How can that be? Your disciples receive the best cultivation resources and become outstanding spirit masters. Your presence is like that of an immortal. How could you be compared to Yu Xiaogong in my eyes? Let me ask you, Su Ran said quietly. When you first became Yu Xiaogong's disciple, did he help you? Did he open the way to spirit master cultivation for you? Tang San had no answer. Your father willingly entrusted you to him. When you first encountered spirit master cultivation, he did guide you into it. If I were to accept you as a disciple, and one day a better teacher appeared who could make you stronger than I could, what would people say of me then? Would I be called someone who misled a student? Second, how did Huo Wu treat you, and how did you treat her? Huo Wu had wanted to be my disciple for a long time, yet she did not abandon you. She invited you repeatedly to Taoyuan Academy. She was loyal to you. But you shot and injured her, broke her spirit. If she hadn't escaped to me when she did, when you once captured her, could you guarantee she would have been safe? If she hadn't become my disciple then, and if Zhu Qing hadn't already crippled one of your legs, you would have deserved far worse. If I didn't break one of your legs today, it would be the greatest mercy. Su Ran's eyes narrowed. A killing intent radiated from him that sent Tang San flying backward. The aura was terrifying. Killers who had worked the Hell Slaughter arena for years shivered. Su Ran stood with his back to the crowd, proud and unbowed. I, Su Ran, accept the kneeling of my disciples and descendants, but you are not worthy to kneel before me. Bloodshot and wild, Tang San stared after Su Ran. What Su Ran said shattered him. Until Su Ran's figure disappeared from the arena, Tang San lost all reason. He clawed at himself, tearing at his own clothes and skin. Am I Tang San really that worthless? He howled. I won't accept this. I truly won't accept it. How am I inferior to them? Shui Bing'er, Shui Yuer, even that good-for-nothing Xiao Chenyu can become a disciple of Taoyuan. Am I not stronger than them? Why? Why? He screamed until his voice broke. Chapter 154. Oh no. What will we do if teacher becomes a god? How should the new order of Slaughter City be set up? My head hurts. I really have a headache. You all think about it first. I'm gonna sleep. Oh, I didn't realize running a city was so hard. It's not just food and housing we have to worry about. We have to set up rules to reward the good and punish the wicked. Teacher, this disciple really can't handle it. Unless teacher gives me a loving hug, my brain has officially stopped working. In the slaughter hall, the 5 great judges had crowded around the sandbox map of Slaughter City and were debating a thorny problem. Of the 5, the usually indulged senior sister Ning Rongrong was the most reliable. As young sect master of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, she had some experience with authority and administration, and she guided the others through the drafting of city rules. But she was still young, and Slaughter City was riddled with evils she couldn't solve alone. Huo Wu was already dozing in the black gem judge's seat beside her. She slumped drowsily until a voice at the hall's entrance made her sit bolt upright, the sleep leaving her eyes in an instant. What's this? The girls are running into trouble? Su Ran had just appeared at the main doorway, the black-robed teacher whose arrival always stirred his disciples. All 5 rose. Ning Rongrong leapt up without even bothering with her shoes, her bare, jade-like feet padding across the dark floor as she ran to Su Ran and pouted. Teacher, Slaughter City is too hard to manage. We've been talking about ways to keep order, but there are so many problems. Su Ran smoothed Ning Rongrong's hair, stood at the end of the judge's table, and said, If you have questions, ask them now. Perhaps teacher can offer some suggestions. Teacher, we've already nailed down the basic reward and punishment system. We'll adapt the legal codes of the 2 empires as Slaughter City's rules. Zhu King and Ye Lingling will act as the king's judges, taking the lives of the wicked and absorbing evil spirits, which will also help their own cultivation. But the biggest problem is the underground blood river under Slaughter City. It seems to give off a toxin that stirs evil thoughts in people, making the city's inhabitants more bloodthirsty. Ning Rongrong picked up a thin black pointer and tapped the map's long blood-red river. Zhu Qing should be able to handle this. Su Ran thought a moment, then took a red lotus from his spirit tool and said, Bats are creatures of blood. The toxin in that underground blood river is exactly the kind of residue left behind by Zhu Qing's 100,000-year spirit ring, the blood-red Bat King. It's not difficult to deal with. This 9-grade world-purifying flame can be planted along the blood river. It will burn away the toxins. With the abilities Zhu Qing inherited from the blood-red Bat King, the side effects in the river should be essentially eliminated. After that, we just need to abolish the custom of drinking from the blood river in Slaughter City. Zhu Qing nodded. The blood-red Bat King's sacrifice gave me 2 powerful spirit abilities. One of them does relate to toxins. I can try it. Wow. 100,000-year spirit ring can really give you 2 spirit abilities. Ye Lingling and Ning Rongrong looked a little envious, but their gazes were drifting toward Huo Wu. Huo Wu shrank on the judge's seat, suddenly flustered. What are you looking at me for? Don't you dare! No way! Huo Wu, senior sister finds you cuter and cuter the more I look, Ning Rongrong teased, pinching her cheek. Xiao Wu stuck out her pink tongue in return, hiding a sweetness she wasn't about to let anyone else touch. She was saving that for teacher. All right, I've marked the other questions one by one, Ning Rongrong continued. Your idea to turn Slaughter City into a place that rewards good and punishes evil, a kind of prison city, is very good. Who came up with it? Suran's eyes flicked to the provisional plan on the table. He read an excerpt aloud. Since most people who come to Slaughter City are those who can't survive outside or are evildoers who can't easily leave, why not turn Slaughter City into a prison? For the wicked, let Ye Lingling devour their lives so they pay the ultimate price and make them work to reform. For those who want to change, give them a safe place to live out their days. Isn't that better? Ning Rongrong raised her hand. It was Zhu Zhuqing and me. Suran smiled in approval, but his face soon turned serious. A very good idea, but remember, Slaughter City is, in the end, a place of divine will. You mustn't be rash regarding the divine inheritance here. He warned them. On the surface, Slaughter City looked like a conflict between the Slaughter King and the Blood-Red Bat King, but it was really an ancient grudge between the Rakshasa god and the Asura god. Fortunately, the Rakshasa god's malignant intent had already found a successor, and the Asura demon sword's attention was on him, meaning it wouldn't be free to scheme against his disciples. Yes, Ning Rongrong and the others nodded, but curiosity bubbled up. Teacher Su, what exactly is divine inheritance? Huliana asked. The 4 Taoyuan Academy disciples leaned in as well. Suran explained, divine inheritance is the destination for the most advanced titled Douluo. You know that from level 90 on, you're a titled Douluo, but what about above 100 levels? There are no spirit masters on the continent at level 100. Because level 100 is God, and gods have their own order. They can't stay on the continent long, but gods need successors, so they leave places of inheritance behind. Slaughter City is the inheritance left by the Asura god, and the Asura demon sword is the Asura god's weapon. He said it calmly. The concept of a realm beyond 100 was distant to these girls, but hearing it made them even more anxious. Becoming a god doesn't sound great. You can't even come home, someone murmured. Better to keep studying at Taoyuan Academy with teacher. Hehe, another added hopefully. No, Xiao Wu's expression changed. She leapt down from the judge's seat and clung to Suran's thigh, eyes wide. The Asura demon sword is so entwined with teacher. It already recognized teacher. With teacher's strength, passing the Asura god's assessment won't be hard. Teacher will probably leave the Douluo Continent soon, won't you? Ah. Her words set off the others. Ning Rongrong, Ye Lingling, and the rest hurried down and clustered around Suran, their faces suddenly desperate and pouty. Teacher, we don't want to be separated from you. Teacher, if you become a god and have to leave the Douluo Continent, can we go with you? Woo. I don't care where teacher goes. I want to go too. I want to be with teacher forever and ever. Watching the 4 beautiful disciples sobbing and clinging to Suran, Huliana's eyes gleamed with a different kind of interest. What kind of teacher-disciple relationship was this at Taoyuan Academy? Were they really disciples, or were they treating Teacher Su like a future husband? And talking about being together for life, it was too thrilling. Huliana's fox charms twitched with excitement, peerless techniques to practice, top-tier resources, and teachers' unmatched looks to enjoy. Being a student at Taoyuan Academy suddenly seemed very, very appealing. Chapter 155, Teaching the Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique. But Grandmaster, what about my dual cultivation Azure Underworld Tao? Under the night sky, a new order was taking shape in Slaughter City. The highest authority became an arbitration council made up of 2 young slaughter kings and 3 arbiters. The Hell Slaughter Arena's rules were rewritten. No more fights to the death. Only residents who had been approved to live in Slaughter City could take part. 100 victories still earned the right to open the Hell Road, but the worst criminals would be sent to re-education camps for punishment and rehabilitation. After a period of observation, they could apply to enter the residential area. Watching the city, once drenched in blood and sin, slowly rebuild itself and become stable, Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Lingling did not relax. Instead, they exchanged worried glances. Many of the wrongdoers had grown accustomed to a life of killing, Spirit Saint and Spirit Douluo powerhouses, captains of the Slaughter Knight team, even titled Douluo. With Grandmaster and a few senior sisters helping now, they could be restrained. But what would happen if Grandmaster and senior sister Rongrong left? After all, the true power in Slaughter City rested with the two of them. At that moment, Suran stepped out from the shadowed entrance of the slaughter hall. "What's this? You got a city that will help your cultivation for a long time, and yet you're sighing?" he asked lightly. "Grandmaster," the two chorused. "We're not unhappy," Ye Lingling replied. "We're just worried we won't have the strength to manage this place and lead the Slaughter Knight team properly." A trace of sorrow lined her brow. "You now have the anti-magic domain and can use spirit abilities in Slaughter City. Facing a titled Douluo here isn't a problem, but suppressing an entire city of powerhouses is still difficult. Lingling, your life and death withering grand technique has already formed 3 lotus stems. The reversal between healing and devouring has increased threefold. What you most lack now is a way to protect yourself. Your hypnotic soul technique has also become more refined while you trained here. I'm going to teach you an advanced, unique skill that should help you deter the citizens of Slaughter City more effectively." "Zhuqing, attack me. Don't hold back," Suran said as he walked to the center of the square outside the slaughter hall. "All right, Grandmaster." Zhuqing's usually cold face hardened with determination. From her academy days, she guessed what Suran was planning. An advanced self-protection unique skill for Lingling. She summoned her spirit in a flash. 9 nether spirit cat, possess, and then lunged, white bone claws flashing with a cold light potent enough to shred stone. Suran didn't dodge or block. He stood perfectly still and said quietly, "Lingling, remember, you're not just a healer. Your life and death withering grand technique functions more like a long-range mage. It's most vulnerable when enemies get close. The hypnotic soul technique gives you some close combat defense, but it relies on ocular techniques and has too many limitations. Self-created spirit ability, life and death illusion. It can directly pull close-range enemies into an illusion of life and death. But the closer they are, the stronger the illusion becomes. Unless the opponent's spirit power and mental force are higher than yours, they won't break free quickly." As Suran spoke, Zhuqing's white bone claw froze 3 feet away from him. A domain bloomed around her, stitched from begonia flowers and black lotus petals, black and white twisting together. The world tilted, cold sweat broke out on her forehead, and her eyes went hollow. She lost her grip on the attack, as if ripped into another battlefield. Only when Suran snapped his slender fingers did Zhuqing come back to herself. "Zhuqing, are you all right?" he asked. Wiping her brow, she breathed, "That was terrifying, Grandmaster. For a moment, I felt like I was facing Poison Douluo." "Perhaps because you were once injured by Dugu Bo and felt his pressure," Suran said. "This life and death illusion automatically simulates the most powerful figures you've met, the opponents you fear, and fights you as they would. If you cannot overcome your fear and defeat the enemy in the simulation, you cannot leave it. And while you struggle inside the illusion, the Black Lotus devours your life force. You'll feel your vitality draining, making it even harder to beat the opponent you fear." Suran's explanation moved Ye Lingling deeply. This self-created spirit ability matched her weaknesses perfectly and complemented her spirit and grand technique. "Grandmaster, how can I learn this? Can a disciple learn your self-created spirit ability?" she asked. She had doubts. Self-created spirit abilities were usually unique skills born from a genius's own spirit and personality, not something others could pick up. In the Soul Master competition, for example, Shenfeng Academy Captain Feng Xiaoqian's Storm Devil Wolf 36 consecutive slashes could only be performed by him. "Of course you can," Suran said. "This ability is built around your spirit, the 9-heart Sea Tang and the 10-grade Black Lotus, and is driven and guided by your life and death withering grand technique. It's especially suitable for you. Remember, the key is integrating the death chi contained in the Black Lotus with your hypnotic soul technique. It's a mental cultivation method as much as a technique. Study it carefully." He handed her a mental cultivation manual he had personally written, the handwriting flowing and elegant. Ye Lingling took it with both hands, eyes shining as she looked up at him. "Thank you, Grandmaster." I love you the most, she blurted, her gratitude and relief spilling over. Zhuqing, who had just experienced the illusion, nodded in approval. If Lingling can master this life and death illusion, her ability to protect herself will rise greatly. She won't be afraid of those villains revolting and attacking her. Su Ran then turned to Zhuqing. Zhuqing, do you remember when you first joined the academy and I gave you a choice of unique skills? Zhuqing's cold face flushed. She nodded slightly. I remember. You taught me the 10 halls of Yama. There was also some kind of dual cultivation azure. Su Ran chuckled and interrupted her. Yes, back then I had 3 unique skills I could teach, but too much at once would overwhelm you. You had just begun, so I taught you the 10 halls of Yama, the one that would boost your strength fastest. Seeing Zhuqing's expectant look, he continued, now that you two have become the new rulers of Slaughter City, it's time to teach you the second spirit-matching unique skill. For a moment, even Zhuqing, usually reserved, grew almost breathless with excitement. Really? Grandmaster, are you finally willing to dual cultivate with me? Su Ran's peach blossom branch tapped her head lightly. What I'm going to teach you is the Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique. Zhuqing's face fell a little. What about the Azure Underworld Tao? Both I and senior sister are more interested in that cultivation technique. Can we learn it together? It's Rongrong, isn't it? Su Ran sighed fondly. She never learns anything simple, always picking up those useless things. It's my fault for bringing out that unique skill in the first place. He shook his head. Zhuqing rubbed her head, feeling a bit wronged. She had waited so long to learn, and yet she'd been tapped on the head for her eagerness. Chapter 156, Life and Death Enlightenment, Ning Rongrong's Bold Confession. Zhuqing, stay strong, Su Ran said. The Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique is no ordinary cultivation method. When cultivated to its peak, it can elevate your spirit to something like a god's. You already know Slaughter City is a place of divine inheritance, but do you know what an Asura truly is? An Asura is neither Buddha nor demon, it is a demonic deity. The Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique is precisely what can fully call forth the Hell Civet Spirit's demonic power and transform it into a heavenly devil. When it succeeds, when the demon cat manifests, it will blot out the sky, all laws, and suppress all wickedness. But remember, magic cultivates demons, but demons themselves are not evil. It is corrupt thoughts that lead to loss of control. Demons are about revealing one's true nature, to be genuine from beginning to end. As he taught, the 9 nether spirit cat's spirit body materialized behind him, several 100 meters tall, its fur marked with dark golden patterns like an otherworldly demon, a dharma form that encompassed heaven and earth. It slammed a paw toward Slaughter City, as if the world were ending. The citizens of Slaughter City trembled. Many fell to one knee before the Slaughter King's throne and pleaded, "Respected Slaughter King, we surrender. Please do not destroy Slaughter City." Oh, old teacher, withdraw this divine ability quickly. Ning Rongrong and Huo Wu, who had rushed out of the slaughter hall, stared at the giant demon cat in the dark sky and stammered. What unprecedented technique was teacher teaching? Even standing some distance away, they could feel world-ending pressure pressing down. Could a spirit master truly wield such power? This is the Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique, so powerful. Even the Asura demon sword mounted atop the slaughter hall was resonating. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes widened. She finally understood why her teacher had prepared 3 cultivation methods for her. Whether the 10 halls of Yama or the Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique, each could transform her Hell Civet qualitatively and make her a formidable spirit master. Now, learning both the 10 halls of Yama and the Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique at once opened a path toward the extreme of the 9 nether demonic Tao. If those two are this powerful, then the Azure Underworld Tao, the technique teachers been reluctant to teach, must be even more formidable, Zhu Zhuqing muttered, full of eager anticipation. But she also worried about being smacked by teacher's stick if she asked too bluntly. Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique? That name sounds familiar. What? The Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique? Zhuqing, teacher taught you the other 2 secret arts? What about the Azure Underworld Tao? Ning Rongrong, jolted awake by Zhu Zhuqing's exclamation, hurried over. Zhuqing shook her head. I want to learn it too, but teacher won't teach it. I want to learn it, Ning Rongrong insisted, grabbing Su Ran's wrist and whining. She had coveted that technique for a long time. Yi Lingling and Huo Wu, the newer disciples, didn't know about it. Seeing their senior so eager made them curious, and they pressed Zhu Zhuqing. Senior Sister Zhuqing, what kind of secret art is the Azure Underworld Tao? Is it powerful? I've never seen a senior chase down teacher like this before. Zhu Zhuqing flushed, stumbling over her words. I'm not sure what it's for exactly, but if you want to learn it, it probably requires intimate, one-on-one instruction from teacher. I don't know the details. Intimate teaching? Huo Wu asked. How intimate? Ye Lingling chimed in. We want to learn everything. Learn all you want, Hulina muttered from a corner, but they still haven't fully mastered the inch punch and indestructible body. On the platform, Su Ran ended his demonstration, handed over the mental methods and cultivation instructions for the Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique to Zhu Zhuqing and corrected them methodically. The two spirited girls would no doubt lead the others astray sooner or later. Their antics were inevitable. Ning Rongrong pouted at teacher, muttering resentfully. Yet ever since the life-and-death experience in the Hell Slaughter arena, she had been turning something over in her mind for 2 days. Is becoming stronger and learning more truly the most important thing? In life, does anything matter more than rebuilding her family, reviving her spirit, and becoming peerless? All right, the life and death illusion and the Heavenly Devil Creation Grand Technique have both been imparted, Su Ran said. Our business in Slaughter City is finished. Once the city stabilizes in a few days, we'll go hunt spirit rings and then return to the academy. Everyone go rest. His gaze lingered toward Taoyuan Academy. It had been a year or two since he left, and he wondered how the academy girls were doing. Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Lingling bowed and returned to the slaughter hall. Hulina hid and peered from a shadow. Only Ning Rongrong stayed behind. Huo Wu tugged at her sleeve. Senior Sister Rongrong, come rest. Teacher must be tired after imparting those techniques. Ning Rongrong nodded. You all go to bed first. I still have something to tell teacher. All right, Huo Wu hesitated, looking back every few steps, puzzled at what Ning Rongrong might want. When the three juniors' figures had disappeared through the slaughter hall door, Ning Rongrong took a step forward and hesitated. Su Ran stood at the platform's edge, looking out over Slaughter City below. He was about to turn and ask if she had any further questions when he heard light footsteps. Ning Rongrong suddenly pressed herself against his back, her body warm and close. Her chest bumped against him. The surprise made Su Ran start, and he quickly said, Rongrong, what are you doing? Let go. What if your junior sisters see? I won't. I just won't. Ning Rongrong insisted stubbornly from behind, hugging him tighter. Her fingers wove over his abdomen. What's wrong with hugging, teacher? So what if they see? What can they do? They could knock your head with the stick or slap your hand, Su Ran said, half amused and half exasperated. Can't you be more original? You always use that to scare us. I've thought it through, Ning Rongrong said. Everyone dies sooner or later. What is the path of a powerful person? Respecting your teacher and revering the Tao. Those are important, yes, but I don't want to grow old and faded, wasting my best years only to regret what I didn't have the courage to try. I want to be brave and have no regrets. Even if you smash my palm this time, even if you knock me silly, she went on, voice trembling with resolve, I still have to say it. She turned her head slightly, her voice small but clear. I like teacher. I want a sweet relationship with teacher. I want to have children and live happily ever after. I don't care about the teacher-student barrier. Chapter 157, Senior Sister Rongrong paves the way for future disciples to pursue their teacher. Wow, how romantic. What is Senior Sister doing? Oh, what scheme is Senior Sister Rongrong hatching now? Oh, Senior Sister is so bold. She actually hugged teacher like that. Wow, I want that too. Imagine half my body pressed against teacher. Under the night sky, the bloody glow had faded and a few stars were beginning to show. Huliana crouched in a shadowed corner of the slaughter hall, watching in secret. When Ning Rongrong ran forward and hugged teacher Su Ran, her eyes shone with an uneasy, envious curiosity. 3 small heads popped out almost at the same time beside her. all wide-eyed and full of admiration for Senior Sister Rongrong's courage. Can you understand what Senior Sister Rongrong is saying? I'm dying to know. I want to learn from Senior Sister Rongrong, Xiao Wu volunteered, raising her hand. I can read belly language and lip read. Want me to translate? You can lip read? Quick, quick, tell us what blush-inducing things Senior Sister Rongrong is saying to teacher, Yilingling urged. Hulina widened her eyes too, staring at Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu gave a small cough, cleared her throat, and imitating Ning Rongrong's and the teacher's voices, put on a dramatic performance. This is simply absurd. How can you hug your teacher? There must be a boundary between teacher and student. Men and women shouldn't be intimate. If people find out you hug teacher like this, how will you ever get married? Only Xiao Wu may hug her teacher. She's different, Rongrong girl. Do you understand? No, I won't stop. I just want to hug teacher. I like teacher most. We'll hug in secret, and the other sisters won't see. Oh my, Xiao Wu, is your lip reading really accurate? It sounds a bit unreliable, Ye Lingling said skeptically. Hulina and Zhu Zhuqing exchanged looks. You're adding your own slant, aren't you? They teased. Xiao Wu's cheeks colored. Okay, maybe a little. All right, really. I'll read it straight this time. I brought you to Slaughter City to temper your body with killing intent and forge an indestructible physique. This is what you were supposed to take from it. This is what you've learned, girl. Under his black robe, Suran's handsome face revealed a trace of helplessness as he sighed. Ning Rongrong heard the disappointment in his tone and grew nervous, hugging him tighter. What's wrong? We learned a poem in class. Its name is Brocade Zither. There's a line that moved me deeply. This feeling could become a memory, but by then I was already lost. Teacher said that line is about looking back and cherishing the years, about entrusting emotions, but I feel that if I don't cherish what I feel now, when Rongrong grows old and teacher moves on, I will regret it forever. I built up courage for days and nights to tell you this. Teacher, are you going to reject a sincere, devoted disciple? It was an inexperienced girl's first confession to the teacher she adored, so she was trembling. Suran took a slow breath. Rongrong, I understand how you feel. Everyone has the right to like someone and the right to dislike someone. I don't care about what others say. But you must know that when you lay out your feelings, you must realize that a relationship shouldn't begin with recklessness or impulse. It begins with taking responsibility. You are still immature. If I were to return your feelings now, it would be irresponsible to you and a disrespect to Schoolmaster Ning and Sword Douluo. Do you understand? All right, it's late. Go back and rest. He relaxed his hold, and with a light pat on Ning Rongrong's head, he turned away. Who could see what lay beneath that black robe? After all, their teacher was only 20, still young, a dreamer in the mortal world. Responsibility, recklessness. So when is one considered mature? When is one responsible? Ning Rongrong whispered. A truly mature person wouldn't ask that, Suran answered as he walked off. True maturity is when you can stand on your own, think for yourself, and take responsibility for your actions. By then, you may have graduated from the academy. You will be able to handle whatever comes your way and accept the consequences. That is when you've truly grown up. Only then would returning your feelings not be taking advantage of you. Those words sent Ning Rongrong and the eavesdroppers, Hulina, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ye Lingling, into deep thought. In a world where strength rules, too many people cling to the powerful and lose themselves. The taboo against teacher-student relationships stems not from sentiment, but from the imbalance. The teacher is stronger, more mature, and thus easier to mislead a naive disciple. Only Xiao Wu's mind remained plain and literal. She filled the silence with her own misunderstanding. Grow up? Mature? Oh, teacher likes mature bunnies who are fair, curvy, and properly grown up. Teacher, I'll remember your words. I will become that person, and you can't use any excuse to brush me off. Ning Rongrong wiped her eyes. She was a woman of steel. She would not admit defeat. For now, she had a new goal. She didn't yet know exactly what counted as independent or mature, but she understood that if she earned graduation from the academy, she would meet the standard teacher had described. Not only Ning Rongrong remembered this, Zhu Zhuqing, Ye Lingling, Xiao Wu, and Hulina had all heard it. By her own confession and the teacher's answer, senior sister Ning Rongrong had, unwittingly, set a benchmark for future disciples who might wish to pursue their teachers. The path suddenly seemed clearer. Little San, cheer up. You're being melodramatic. Right now, you couldn't even outshine the students of Peach Garden Academy, let alone win the attention of Spirit Hall. Dad, I'm really not satisfied. Suran would rather take in nobodies like Wang Sheng and Xiao Chenyu than give me a chance to learn. Am I really that bad? That Wang Sheng, he's 18 and still not broken through to Spirit Elder, has to punch tens of thousands of times to get any progress. How is he better than me? That Xiao Chenyu, when he was at Noting Academy, he was the school bully, domineering and violent. Isn't my character better? And his spirit rings are garbage. He only got a 10-year spirit ring at 12 or 13. At 12, I was already near rank 30 Spirit Grandmaster. And those last-tier academies like Plant Academy and Tianshui Academy, where did I lose to them? Where exactly did I lose? And Teacher Su Ran, he's so beautiful, so beautiful. Outside Slaughter City, Tang Chen used his last privilege as a killing god to retrieve Tang San from the slaughterland. On a mountain peak, he looked down at the drunken, dazed Tang San and saw himself from 10 years ago. These more-than-usual setbacks are exactly why you must prove your potential, Tang Chen said. You obtained a trace of the great Sumeru hammer's essence from your grandfather. That is the Clear Sky Sect's strongest ultimate skill. It won't lose to any of Peach Garden Academy's ultimate techniques. If you use the great Sumeru hammer to defeat the students of Peach Garden Academy, who would dare look down on you then? Tang Hao gripped the clear sky ring and warned him. Tang San's eyes cleared a little. Really? Of course it's true. The great Sumeru hammer is hailed as a miracle, almost like a divine weapon. Back then, relying on the 9-ring blasts of the great Sumeru hammer, I carried you, then an infant, and broke through Spirit Hall's encirclement. Chapter 158. Zhu Zhuqing escapes to Taoyuan Academy. Outside Taoyuan Academy in Soto City, a cold drizzle blurred the view. Over a narrow storefront hung a wooden sign, Peach Blossom Honey. The horizontal inscription read, Peach Blossom Honey from Peach Garden. Gold waves and jade buds gather immortals. Inside, a middle-aged man with a hooked nose sat cross-legged in a reclining chair, calling out loudly, "Don't miss out, folks. Our signature Peach Blossom Honey is brewed from fresh peach blossom stamens from Taoyuan Academy, steeped in the aura of peach immortals. 1 sip lightens the body, 2 sips grant 100 years, and 3 sips, rebirth." Old Boss Flender, stop shouting. The weather's terrible. There won't be many customers, a burly man grumbled as he came in from the back, carrying a jar half a meter across. A pinkish-yellow label on the jar read, Aged Honey. Every sale matters, the big man said. Old Zhao, you don't know what it costs to run a household until you do it yourself. Shops outside Taoyuan Academy are gold now. Ours alone is 5 gold coins a month. How much peach blossom honey do we have to sell just to cover rent? Flender's eyes gleamed with visions of coin. After the Soul Master competition, he'd returned to Soto City, heard about Taoyuan Academy's construction, and moved his business to this busy street. He traded in jade curiosities and, thanks to clever advertising, sold lots of peach blossom honey under the Academy's famous name. Business was good, and Flender liked to think he'd gotten there first. Their conversation was cut short when 2 business management spirit masters from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School walked in and flashed credentials. "Why haven't you taken down this sign?" one said. "We've warned you repeatedly. You are not affiliated with Taoyuan Academy. False advertising is prohibited. Remove this sign." "This is your final warning. If you don't change it within 3 days, the shop will be closed for rectification." He handed them a notice and a fine ticket, adding, also, a 500 gold coin fine payable directly to Taoyuan Academy. 500? Flender nearly leapt from his chair. 500 gold? 1 jar sells for 2 silver. We've never even made 500 gold. This is too much. Zhao Wuji's voice boomed as he stood, pressure rolling off him. "Who told you to ignore the warnings? We've announced this publicly. If we don't fine you, who will?" A spirit master wearing the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School's dark gold emblem instinctively reached for the 7-shaped black weapon at his waist. That gesture froze Flender. "We admit our mistake and will pay the fine, but could you, please, be lenient, reduce it a bit?" Flender tried to butter them up. Heh, we're old acquaintances of Dean Su of Taoyuan Academy. I used to run my academy. Well, my academy was next to Taoyuan. Dean Su used to call me Dean Flender. He went too far. The manager's expressions hardened. So you're from Shrek Academy? One said coldly. Yes, Shrek Academy, Flender blurted, trying to sound proud. The manager's face went even darker. Then we'll have to adjust the penalties. He announced the fine would be doubled and the rent raised. 1,000 gold, and the monthly rent will be 100 gold. Flender went pale. What? I asked for a reduction and you doubled it? Sir, please, let's keep the original fine, 500 gold, and rent 50 gold per month. That's all I can manage. With a pained expression, he produced 2 bags of gold and began to open a spirit tool to pay. The 7-treasure glazed tile school manager was unmoved. Wouldn't it have been easier if you'd been honest from the start? He began to count the coins without hurry. A moment later, both Flender and Zhao Wuji stiffened. Do you smell that? Blood. There's spirit power. Something's wrong. They hurried to the shop entrance and saw, under the misty rain, 2 young women stumbling out from a narrow path toward Taoyuan Academy. Both were badly injured. Their clothes were soaked with blood that dripped onto the wet ground. More than 10 spirit masters, 6 and 7-ring powerhouses were in hot pursuit. 2 of the pursuers' spirits were immediately familiar to Flender and Zhao. One bore the white tiger spirit. Another belonged to forces from the Star Luo Empire. Zhu Zhuqing, you can't run. It's still not too late to come back with us, a pursuer called. It will be an honor for the Zhu household to marry the first prince or the third prince. Do you know the danger your family will face if you escape? Pa! I'll never let my third sister marry that good-for-nothing Dai Mubai, spat one of the fleeing women, Zhu Zhuqing. She glared toward the academy through the soft rain. The injured young woman beside her, who looked somewhat like her and another sister, Zhu Zhuqing, was barely conscious. Third sister, this is where your second sister studies. Taoyuan Academy, Zhu Zhuqing told her. I can only take you this far. You must stay inside Taoyuan Academy. As long as you stay there, they can't touch you. Go, hurry. Zhu Zhuqing pushed the injured girl into Taoyuan Academy's entrance, then turned back to face the pursuers. Her spirit rings flashed, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 1 black, and cold killing intent flared in her eyes. She knew she couldn't match more than 10 elite spirit masters. She and her sister had escaped here only by relying on the Hell Civet's speed, and they were badly wounded. At that moment, 2 broad-shouldered youths strolled down the peach blossom path inside Taoyuan Academy, each holding a peach-yellow paper fan. They stepped into sight with an indifferent expression. The smell of blood is unpleasant, one said lightly. Killing and fighting are prohibited inside Taoyuan Academy. Please take your conflict elsewhere. Chapter 159. The Zhu sisters seek help from Taoyuan. Teacher Su Ran returns. Wang Sheng, your teacher Su's direct disciple. Wang Sheng. Zhu Zhuqing called out the instant she saw the burly young man step out of the peach blossom grove. She would never forget teacher Su's 7 outstanding disciples who had shone at the Soul Master competition. You are Zhu Zhuqing, vice captain of the Star Luo royal team? Wang Sheng's eyes fell on the woman slumped in blood. Recognition flickered across his face, then confusion. These pursuers looked like spirit masters from the Star Luo Empire, and Zhu Zhuqing was a Star Luo noble betrothed to First Prince Dai Weici. Who in the Empire would dare chase her like this? Before he could ask, Zhu Zhuqing seized on his presence like a lifeline and pleaded. It's complicated. 2 senior brothers from Taoyuan, please. Let our sisters stay temporarily. Don't take our third sister away. Wang Sheng hesitated. With teacher Su absent from the academy, he didn't dare make a call on such a dangerous matter. If he dragged the academy into this and brought trouble on his teacher, it would be a grave mistake. Ladies, forgive me. I can't. I won't bring you into the academy. Zhu Zhuqing's face fell. She bit her lip, desperate. Even if teacher Su were here, he wouldn't stand idly by. I'm sorry, I can't risk bringing harm to the academy. He bowed slightly and stepped back. The rejection hit Zhu Zhuqing like a physical blow. If Taoyuan wouldn't shelter them, where could they go? Both she and her third sister were hurt. Big sister, it looks like the academy you speak of isn't what you said it was, the younger sister muttered bitterly. You dragged me all this way for nothing. I might as well go marry Dai Weishi. I owe your kindness to me when I was little. Zhu Zhuqing's pale face was hollow with despair. When their elder sister had returned from the Soul Master competition 3 years before, she'd been different, proud and full of stories about a championship school called Taoyuan Academy. Hearing those memories had once made Zhu Zhuqing curious about the place. Now it sounded like every other school, quick to bow to power, quick to abandon the weak. Ha! If you'd thought like this sooner, you wouldn't have suffered so much. A rough middle-aged man in a white tiger robe sneered. He and two large men had just come out of the peach blossom grove. Looking at Wang Sheng and the other Taoyuan disciples, contempt twisted his face as he reached for Zhu Zhuqing. Taoyuan Academy? Don't pretend. Who does a little nobody academy think it is? Star Luo or Spirit Hall? You think you can defy the Star Luo Empire? Zhu Zhuqing, come with us. Accept your punishment. The two tall men closed in. The pursuers had clearly underestimated the warning. As their hands reached out, a fierce punch whistled through the air, and a heavy groan announced someone's hurt. The seven-ring spirit master in the white tiger robe was blasted away dozens of meters. Zhu Zhuqing, who had already braced for capture, snapped back to attention. She looked toward the source of the blow and saw two broad-shouldered young men who'd stripped off their school jackets, revealing strong, muscled torsos. One had a snarling wolf tattoo across his chest. 4 spirit rings glowed faintly beneath his feet, white, yellow, purple, purple. The other bore a descending tiger engraving on his chest, and 5 spirit rings burned underfoot, yellow, purple, purple, black, black. We don't drag the academy into things, one of them said coolly, but we will act on our own. If you want to take them, let your fists do the talking. Nuoding City, Wang Sheng, 5-ring Spirit King, Spirit Storm Fiend Tiger, Subduing Tiger Fist, please enlighten us. Nuoding City, Xiao Chenyu, 4-ring Spirit Ancestor, Spirit Vajra Wolf, Hungry Wolf Fist, please enlighten us. A collective wow escaped the Zhu sisters. Despair turned to astonished relief. Tears glinted in Zhu Zhuqing's eyes. I knew it. Teacher Su's disciples wouldn't watch people die. They're not snobs. Big sister, are all Taoyuan disciples like this? A 5-ring Spirit King just sent a 7-ring Spirit Saint flying. Zhu Zhu's voice trembled with awe. The middle-aged man's face contorted with fury. You're courting death. A little 5-ring tiger and a 4-ring wolf dare interfere with the Star Luo royal family's affairs? Our white tiger spirit is king among tigers. What are you compared to us? Kill them. Those Star Luo pursuers were no common thugs. They were clearly generals and guards. Many of them activated spirit possession techniques. White tiger possession, battle lion possession, blood leopard possession. They formed up and attacked Wang Sheng and Xiao Chenyu. Wang Sheng's stance was a crouched, coiled readiness, like a tiger between a host of dogs. Someone once told me the white tiger is king among tigers, he muttered, but the subduing tiger fist my teacher taught me is the bane of tiger-type spirits. Dai Chenggu, a 6-ring spirit emperor wearing a white tiger spirit and red with fury, lunged in. Wang Sheng shifted his weight and changed hands at the last instant, finding the true landing point. In one fluid motion, he grabbed Dai Chenggu and executed a tiger's knee strike that sent him hurtling back, the sick crack of ribs echoing. Xiao Chenyu had trained under Wang Sheng's strict regimen for years, pulled before dawn to practice until his hands were raw. A wolf fist honed by such obsession had become frighteningly effective. Even against a spirit emperor, he moved with composure and power. This kid's boxing has gotten much better in the past 2 years, a spectator murmured. He's probably reached true unity between man and spirit. He's so calm even across such a realm gap. Pity his spirit power is still lower, and they're outnumbered. They'll tire and lose if this drags on, another warned. Outside the peach honey shop, Flender had just finished slicing meat and stepped out with Zhao Wuji. They were taking down the shop's promotional signs while watching the commotion. Seeing Wang Sheng fight stirred a strange nostalgia, a memory of youth when they had been deans across from Taoyuan Academy. Boss Flender, shouldn't we help? Maybe we'd get on Taoyuan's good side and stop having to pay fines for using the Academy's name in our ads, Zhao Wuji said, cracking his knuckles. Flender weighed it and shook his head. We could try, but they've got more than a dozen spirit saints. If the two of us jump in, we'll only get beaten and have to pay medical bills. And Dean Su isn't here to see it. If he doesn't see it, our effort counts for nothing. Not worth the risk." He glanced toward the 7 treasure-glazed tile school guard team nearby. Their spirit masters wore dark gold badges, and hands hovered near Hell's revolvers at their hips. If the Star Luo pursuers dared really harm Taoyuan people, those guards wouldn't stand by. Just then, a blur flashed by, and several figures in the distance caught Flender's eye. Chapter 160, Wolverine's terrifying self-healing ability. Zhu Zhuqing goes on a killing spree. Fight! Kill them! What kind of boxing is this kid using? It counters our white tiger technique. He can't be allowed to live. Our Star Luo has its own family matters. How dare you interfere? You're asking for death. How in the world can a 4-ring spirit ancestor be so resilient? He just won't die. Wang Sheng and Xiao Chenyu were boxed in by more than a dozen spirit emperors and spirit saints from the Star Luo Empire. They were holding on, but facing that many high-level spirit masters all unleashing spirit abilities at once, their reserves were being drained fast. Wang Sheng had already used his ultimate, Dragon Descent, his roar echoing as a golden dragon coiled around him while his body was lacerated by dozens of cuts. Xiao Chenyu was worse off. Wang Sheng was one of the 7 core true disciples and had come in earlier. Xiao Chenyu was a rising talent but still far weaker. Against opponents whose spirit power outclassed his by 20 to 30 levels, he was barely surviving. But Xiao Chenyu had something Wang Sheng did not. His body was literally falling apart, skin torn away, raw muscle and splintered bone exposed, yet he was grinning like a man possessed. "How exhilarating," he gasped, blood running down his chin. "Come on, keep going. I'll be blunt. Either you kill me, or I'll kill you." The others couldn't possibly understand. Xiao Chenyu practiced the Silver Moon Azure Wolf art his teacher taught, which emphasized 2 things: Silver Moon Transformation, a huge combat boost, and a regenerative self-healing ability, an unkillable cockroach of a technique. Its regeneration was similar in effect to senior sister Rongrong's endurance, as unstoppable in taking damage as it was terrifying to face. To other spirit masters, it looked abnormal. Annihilate them. Dai Chenggu, adorned in the White Tiger family's colors, bellowed. He had clearly been hit hard by Wang Sheng's dragon descent. At that moment, a black shadow streaked past and a gray domain blossomed outward like a cloud. The spirit abilities of everyone inside the domain suddenly went mute. 5th spirit ability, Hellish Chaotic Shadows. Someone announced. Inside the gray void, 9 nether spirit cats appeared in succession, each radiating cold killing intent, 6, 12, 36, as if multiplied by some cruel arithmetic. They surged at the Star Luo Empire's spirit masters, tearing and nibbling at flesh. The grass quickly dyed crimson. Seizing the opening, Wang Sheng and Xiao Chenyu exploded with renewed strength, punching back a spirit emperor and a spirit saint. The black shadow landed beside Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuyu. Zhu Zhuqing stood there, looking at the injuries on Zhu Zhuyu with a frown of pain. "Third sister, Zhu Zhuyin, why are you here?" she asked. "It's a long story, Zhuqing. You're a 6-ring spirit emperor?" Zhu Zhuyin's eyes widened when she noticed the faintly glittering spirit rings beneath Zhu Zhuqing's feet. They weren't fully released, but the rings were there, and the 6th glowed a little red. She rubbed her eyes to make sure she wasn't dreaming. Zhu Zhuqing nodded. "I trained under teacher and had a lucky chance," she said quietly. "I'm over level 60 now." Zhu Zhuyin managed a bitter smile. She had been bested by her younger sister. She hadn't even broken through 60 yet. "Second sister, that's wonderful. I heard you did brilliantly at the Soul Master competition. I didn't expect you to be so powerful. Even the Star Luo royal family's spirit emperors and spirit saints are holding back." Zhu Zhuyu looked at Zhu Zhuqing with obvious admiration. Zhu Zhuqing had already produced pills and handed some to Zhu Zhuyu and Zhu Zhuyun. She added in a more detached tone, "All thanks to teacher, but these Star Luo people have gone too far, chasing you all the way to the Academy's gate. Brother Wang Sheng, Xiao Chenyu, you've done well. I'll avenge third sister personally." Zhu Zhuqing rose, and the killing intent she gave off made everyone shiver. From the shop across the street, Flender and Zhao Wuji both stared. "Old Zhao, something's off," Flender said under his breath. "Zhu King's aura, I feel like she's a demon who's killed 100 people." "Hiss!" That's chilling, Zhao Wuji replied. They say I had a reputation in my youth, but my killing intent is maybe 1/10 of hers. What did she go through to become like this? They exchanged a look. Think we could beat her? No way. Me neither. So we're not just unsuited to teach at Taoyuan Academy anymore. We're not even as good as some students. Seems like it. Senior Sister Zhuqing. Xiao Lauda, let's go. This isn't our fight. Senior Sister Zhuqing has returned. Don't stop me. I'm going to cut them to pieces. I'll kill them all. R. Senior Sister Zhuqing. Ignore him. This is Xiao Lauda's usual state. The more he's hurt, the more ferocious he gets. He goes into a wolf frenzy. Slap. Ouch. Xiao Chenyu's eyes rolled bloodshot and he bared his teeth like a famished wolf. Wang Sheng's tiger palm clipped Xiao Chenyu across the mouth and the feral hunger drained from him instantly. The wolf turned into a domesticated husky as Wang Sheng pulled him away from the front lines. Zhu Zhuqing's expression twitched slightly. Time and separation had certainly changed some of their classmates. She calmed herself, and when she spoke to the Star Luo crowd, the words were ice. "Why are you pursuing my eldest sister and my third sister?" she demanded. Dai Chenggu and the others quailed at the murderous aura she radiated. This was the contemporary Slaughter King. Ordinary spirit masters had no stomach for her wrath. Trembling, Dai Chenggu forced a new bravado into his voice. "You must be Zhu Zhuqing who fled the marriage," he spat. "You betrayed the third prince. He was blinded and injured, dispirited ever since. Our royal family's face has been stained. Since you ran, someone else from the Zhu family must take your place. Hand over Zhu Zhuyun and Zhu Zhuyu sensibly, or you can go back and accept the betrothal yourself. Even if you protect them today, can you protect all the women of the Zhu family? That royal family's face, that filling the void. I'll go back myself, but you dogs of the royal family will never leave here alive," Zhu Zhuqing snapped. Dai Chenghu's words lit a cold fire in her. Her killing intent thickened in the air like it might become solid. She drew in a breath and unleashed a dreadful technique. 9 Yin White Bone Claw, 100 Ghost Night Parade, Soul Rend. The 9 nether spirit cats she'd summoned copied her movements and hurled forth rows of Yin Soul Killer Claws. Screams and howls rose from the Star Luo pursuers, but it was already too late for pleas. The gray claws sliced through clothing and bone as if through rotten wood. Collarbones and ribs shattered. Chests were ripped open with organs revealed and beating hearts glazed in gray frost by the claw's cold aura. Flesh and bone were torn away in a spray of blood. The sound of snapping bone and the wet slither of exposed innards filled the air. Over 10 spirit emperors and spirit saints were reduced to heaps of mangled flesh and broken limbs. A few wisps of gray-black mist drifted up from the remains only to be hungrily absorbed by the 9 nether spirit cats. The brutality snapped Xiao Chenyu out of his daze. That power, so absolute, left Wang Sheng, Zhu Zhuyun, and Zhu Zhuyu speechless. Flender and Zhao Wuji's faces went pale. They didn't dare make another sound for fear the killing god would turn toward them next. Then, as suddenly as it had blossomed, Zhu Zhuqing's killing intent drained away. She folded her hands, knelt, and bowed her head before a figure in black robes who had just strolled up from outside. "Student has broken the killing precept the moment I returned," she said in a low, contrite voice. "I have violated school rules. Please punish me, teacher."